It's your Wednesday night dose of truth, and already a crazy week halfway through on Double Camel Hump Day. The Conspiracy Horsemen are back, infidels, and we're going to take it back a little bit tonight. So sit back, we'll educate each other. We've got a big Conspiracy Horseman mailbag to get through, update, breaking news. We'll take a look back at some stories that don't need to get swept under the rug. But right now, it's the grand ultimate supreme, no extremities. We use Tai Chi to deflect off our enemies. 5 poisons from the Horsemen, there's no remedy. We dispel the wickedness in our vicinity. Hameen, the atomic Islamic bomb dropping, appear in your atmosphere like the comet heading to the Western Hemisphere non-stopping. And that's right, infidels, the Conspiracy Horsemen aren't stopping. We're coming to shatter all the conventions, all of the conditioning you've ever had in your pathetic little educations, and now your eyes are open. You're awake with the Greek god Papadon, Big Salallah, Stevie Cool, and Hacker Hameen here at the Conspiracy Horsemen. YOLO! Yes, we're back, you guys. Holler if you hear me out there. Hopefully in the chat room they can. We got the mics on lock this time around, so give us a mic check 1 2. But straight up, I just want to introduce my Conspiracy Horseman brothers. If you're one of the new followers coming over from Russo Brand, who've been giving us all the praise, or if you're an old school original underground head from the Hacker Hameen Podbean crew, we appreciate you guys for tuning in here live on Twitch. You're the coolest of the cool kids because you're getting it first, uncensored and live, and obviously you get the beautiful faces and all the reactions of the Horsemen right here on twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horsemen. So YOLO. But right now I want to say what's up, Big Sal. How you doing, man? Set it off.
What's going on, man? We're flying off the handle today. Having a good day. It's Wednesday. It's almost Thursday.
Yeah.
I got nothing, brother.
It does make Wednesdays. Wednesday's usually the down day in wrestling, aside from NXT, which I really can't. I can't do 3 days of wrestling in a row. I would lose it. So this Wednesday really carries me through to get to meet with you guys, and like really breaks up the week. Something to look forward to, I think, for everybody, man. So always good to see you.
I personally feel NXT would be the least painful of all 3.
Well, then they should put it on Sunday because as to get through the 5 hours, I'm just too goddamn burnt to be pumped to watch it. I would want to, but I'm too burnt, man. And speaking of my burnout brother on wrestling, speaking of burned out and ready to do something drastic to this wrestling business, what's up, Stevie Cole? How you doing, man?
If we were really truly those conspiracy theorists from YouTube where they do all the numerology in that software and they connect the dots, I was just thinking as a joke, but they could probably put some videos behind this. 3 hours of Raw on Monday, 2 hours of Raw or 2 hours of SmackDown on Tuesday, 1 hour of NXT.
Yeah.
What's it add up to?
All 6.
6.
Yeah.
Well, how many shows is it? 3. 6, 6, 6. Ooh.
Nice.
How many is Corey Graves on?
All of them.
So
Yes.
Devil.
The guardian of the Devil's Gate.
And I got to shout out Steve King.
Or shitty booking, one or the other.
I got to shout out Strangler Steve King, who listened to that show, our show last week, Symbolism in WWE, NFL, and Disney. And he is into numerology heavy. And also, I should have known this, pointed out, because we have Crow 777 on hackerhameen.podbean.com is a great conspiracy show. But Vincent Kennedy McMahon, all 7 letters. So if you want to talk about a God complex, 777, absolutely.
Saturnalia.
Yeah, Saturnalia as well.
I make fun of it, but dude, if you get into that, you talk about a rabbit hole, guys.
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, it's interesting, but it's maddening.
Yeah.
You think the stuff we talk about is maddening. Numerology is crazy.
And I fucking hate
But the
math.
Greeks invented numerology, guys.
And as we all know, anybody who believes in God does not believe in numerology. So how about that for a bunch of torn people?
And, we're glad we missed him last week. He wasn't here, but we're glad to have Greek God Papadon back this week. Shout out, man.
Sorry I had to miss the show last week. It was a little unprofessional about myself. I was really looking forward to talking about the satanic and Masonic symbology in WWE, because there's plenty of that stuff, and I just unfortunately wasn't able to attend, and I had so much to say, and unfortunately I didn't get a chance to. So maybe if we we do a recap or something. I'll touch base.
No, we got to go forward. We can't. You can't get your shit.
Can't dwell on the past.
Gotta keep going forward.
Gotcha. Well, you guys, you three held it down last week, and it is what it is. So,
and that was
the fans were entertained.
Yeah, you sound like a WWE writer now. It is what it is. So please don't do that.
No, I have ring psychology, brother. I won't be.
Wow, he's coming back strong. He was a fucking clone. So there you go. Podcast one, first bleep. Let's call it. Everybody drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have like a betting game to see who curses first, but not intentionally.
We already have a drinking game.
It'll be me.
It's called Raw and SmackDown. That's our drinking game.
Stop it.
That's my huffing game where I just put a plastic bag over my head.
It's the longest running weekly episodic television show ever.
Yeah.
Keyword longest.
Yeah, they're just talking about one episode.
You fell asleep, Sal. Woke up at 10:07. We got like 3 or 4 tweets of people that didn't even know you fell asleep saying they fell asleep during the show.
Yeah, the Riot Squad came out, and out I went. After I saw that whole thing, I don't remember going to sleep. Then I woke up and I looked at the clock, and it's 10:07. I'm like, son of a bitch, what a rib.
They call themselves the Ambient Squad. That'd be the next one.
My wife, who will follow, she actually made me handmade chocolates, dark chocolates for Valentine's Day. She takes great care of loving me. No, I want to set it up. She takes great care. She will let me have 3 power racks within the apartment when they don't even fit. But the first 5 minutes of SmackDown, she's like, "You're on your own. See you later." And then, like I said, I've been watching the same show for 5 weeks. She said, "It's ridiculous."
Did you come back and make her feel sexy? Be like, "Honey, your power rack's the only one I need out here. That's it."
Nice.
Write that one down, brother. Yeah, but yeah,
and
it's.
Then she gave you some sexy chocolate.
Stop it.
He was missing.
Yeah,
he wasn't there to give us his.
I know.
Wasn't there to give us his grammar class.
I actually was thinking about the fact that he wasn't on, and then I was like, because I don't know Star Trek. Is Uhura just based on the name alone? Is that the Asian one as well?
No, that was
Sulu.
Sorry. He's the one. The Asian guy drives the ship.
I was gonna Photoshop Naka Uhura on there and send it to you guys, but I'm glad I didn't.
Uhura was the black girl that was on there. And Seth Rollins is going to advocate for her
because they made her sit in the back of the ship just to do the communications.
Listen, guys out there, the views and words expressed by the other 3 Horsemen members are not condoned by the Greek god Papadon.
We're shitting on Star Trek right now. We're shitting on Star Trek. You absolutely should condone
constantly.
Yeah.
Listen, I love Star Trek.
I would like to for people that don't know these little bits of inside baseball. For the first thing, Papadon had a clone last week, so please catch the last like 25 minutes of the show. For the Russo brand show, for the review show, I don't know how many Easter eggs are in that one, including Seth Rollins speaking up on Black History Month was a highlight.
Yeah. Like they had Mark Henry, Titus O'Neil, and Apollo Crews, and they choose Seth Rollins to be the voice.
And they showed Sasha Banks, but then they cut to Seth Rollins.
Right.
So that made so much sense for me.
Seth Rollins, Freedom Rider, next gimmick.
I really understood it.
And also the Rosa Parks, Stephanie McMahon squash. We talked about that.
Yeah, it was good.
So catch that show.
But if you ever have any questions on any inside jokes like Muffle Sparks or AB3, you can always hit us up on Twitter at Greek God Papadon, at Dead No Save, at BWO Stevie, at bin_Hameen, or go back and listen to our past episodes at hackerhameen.podbean.com. But regardless, GGP, I don't care what they say about you, brother. I'm glad to have my tag team partner back in action with me today.
It was good to be back, man. Like I said, I'm sorry I missed last week, but I had some situations I had to take care of, and, I had to shave the beard off because there was another sexy Greek wanted for killing the show. So I just, for stealing the show, most likely. So I had to shave it off so I don't...
You got it right the first time.
Killing the town.
No, I don't kill the territory. I don't think so, bud. I get the loudest responses of the night.
Yeah.
And it's not cocky, it's confidence there, Stevie.
It's go home.
Who the fuck are you?
What's up with the sleeves, dude? You sure you're a clone?
No, it's not a clone. Hold on.
Start
Yeah.
no
It's
a
slow,
nice game
slow
chair.
burn, slow burn. It is a sweet game chair. How's it holding up to the cat?
Sorry, I had phantom power on. I actually roll it in. I roll it into the gym. It doesn't even live out here, and they are like literally when they see it, it's like they'd start flanking it when I'm rolling it towards the desk. So it's like a phone. Eventually you're going to drop it. Eventually you're going to scratch the screen. There's no avoiding it. And Mia opens doors. She opens all doors in the house. So
Just like that sweet new
Wait, Mia's
robot.
the cat?
what's that?
Is it Mia's a cat?
Mia is a cat. She is a 21
So it's like
pound cat.
Jinxie. She can flush the toilet from like Meet the Fockers.
My wife won't let me potty train him. She claims that because we have one bathroom in the apartment, it's probably not a good idea to show. She goes, I'm not going to walk in and I go. I have to go.
looking at her.
And the cat's usually, I have to wait for the cat to finish.
Then your cat teach the cat how to blumpkin.
Wait a minute. I think I'm being texted here. Mia heard you say her name, so she's coming out.
Nice.
So good stuff. This was originally, by the way, Ben, we had talked when we first started doing this back in August. It feels like, we've been doing this forever and been doing, the show. We were going to make this Valentine's Day episode, the wives episode, tentatively.
Then we thought better of it.
Yeah.
Because
I spoke to my wife and I was like, I put the kibosh on that real quick.
Yeah.
438 wives trying to get their shit in. Nobody's going to get a word in edgewise over here. So
It'd be like an indie match.
yeah, but shout out to the wives, because if you think we're fucking whacked out on this show and you deal with us for 2 hours, imagine all the bullshit these ladies got to deal with all the time, listening to us and bouncing ideas off us. And sorry, honey, I got to go talk about some crazy shit that might put us on a no-fly list or have the FBI sitting outside of our house. So they put up with a lot.
I told you when we first got together, and I didn't ever realize it, but I used to fall asleep to like 9/11 loose change.
Yeah.
And like I used to wake up when the guy was like, Jesus Christ, like in the building. And she was like, why? I think I figured out why you can't sleep. Because you wake up at 2 a.m. because someone's screaming, people are dying and jumping out of buildings. And that's not what makes for a wrestling night's sleep. So then we switched to Stephen Greer talking because he's boring as fuck. So, talked about his stuff.
Yeah.
We need to get him on too.
Yeah, there's a couple.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna want to come on now after you called him boring there, guy.
Mike Haas, big supporter of the show, promoter in LA, was actually talking about he's got connections with the guy who claims to be a time traveler who was going to run for office. I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Marty McFly.
Yeah, that guy. And
Goldie?
Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name. I'm sure Haas will hit us up, but I think there's some cool stuff coming down the road with guests that we have. We just got always so much to cover in real time of what's going on. And today I'm kind of glad we can go back, and I wish we even almost had 2 more days to research everything with Nikola Tesla. But that's what tonight's show is going to be about, possibly who should be considered the world's most intelligent inventor in history, who's been scrubbed from history, murdered, his ties into the Trump administration, Elon Musk and the Tesla stuff that's been going on, and we'll take a look there. And it's nice to be able to get a refresher and go back and take a breath for a minute, because this world of current events can just kick the shit out of us all. And right now, I guess there's 16 dead in a shooting in Florida, a school shooting, multiple high schoolers injured and whatnot. And they're giving updates in Twitter in real time, which is just a crazy thing to be kind of happening of where we are technology wise, but also good for, I guess, first responders to know instead of the unknown, not known, where they might be able to locate people. Off of the heels of what we talked about on multiple shows in the Las Vegas shooting, and that's just been swept under the rug, and it absolutely needs to stay in the forefront of our minds, because there's so many story changes there and a lot of bullshit and misinformation and pretty much now it's a fast and furious CIA op in most of our opinions, combined with the Saudi family. It's just insane, where this could just be the ridiculed kid from high school coming for his revenge, or is it how we talked about on Sandy Hook with Wolfgang Helbig, and is this a staged false flag event? So it's so early, and not to make any judgment calls, but we're looking at it. We'll deconstruct it in the next first 48. But what do you think about that, Big Sal?
Today, I had to go to I went to the dentist earlier this afternoon, and I said to my hygienist, she's doing my thing, and she says, I go, so she goes, this is terrible with the school shooting. I said, yeah, and we got into a discussion about all kinds of stuff. So I decided to test the water, and I said, so, what do you think about this? She goes, oh, it'll be something. It'll be Trump's fault. It'll be a bully's fault. It'll be somebody else's fault that this happened. I said, okay, do you think anything else is going on today? You think maybe they're passing a law or something? She goes, what do you mean? So I explained a little bit more, didn't get too far into it because, again, and I said to her, I go, let me ask you a question. What do you know about the Vegas shooting? She almost lost her fucking mind.
Really?
She goes, we haven't heard anything. What happened to that guy? Where'd he go? Like, she completely forgot it until I said something, and like all of a sudden recognition rolled in her face. Like she goes, oh my God, yeah, what happened to him? What did he do? Why, where'd he go? Why does he not, And I said, he's dead. And she's like, he's dead, right? And I said, yeah. She goes, well, how come nothing else came out? I said, yeah, that's the question.
Yeah.
So I look at her as to be an average cross-section of America. She's a dental hygienist who she has probably like a slight inkling of what she thinks is freaky, as far as, conspiracy theories go.
Oh.
But she completely was blown away when I brought it up because she said, oh my God, how come we haven't heard anything? So, like, to me, I just find, it all, if somebody doesn't want it out there, it doesn't get out there. I mean, like, stay out there to be figured out.
Well, that's where Twitter comes in, how they control the flow of information with any of these events, and what can happen afterwards or what agenda. And I always think that too. And unfortunately, there is real events that happen. So we're not saying every single one is a hoax.
No.
That's the part that confuses people to where they just give up, like this woman, like, oh, I heard anything about it, but no follow up to try to find that information to find out if enough people did that, maybe it would change. With the school shooting, with all the art stuff, it's not so much that it's a hoax. The interesting part is this is where Wolfgang lives in Florida. So we definitely want to contact him soon.
Yeah.
Try to figure out if he has any kind of information, and that's right up his wheelhouse. I'm sure that's one of the schools he actually worked with the safety stuff. So he would have a direct, experience with it. But yeah, first thing I thought of, I went online, see what bill's up for vote, what's going on. Did something happen overseas during those hours? Not saying they said, let's let this happen and then we're going to go over there. But when it happens, we can go and do this because now everything shifted over here.
Yeah.
Just never waste a good crisis. Is that what Rahm Emanuel said?
Never let a good crisis go to waste.
I'm sorry.
Yep, exactly that, and we'll see what they do to push the agenda, left or right, if you believe in that paradigm, or was it to detract from something possibly in Korea with the Olympics that they wanted to kept quiet as well, that would eat up the 24-hour news cycle. And then what's important for us is deconstructionist conspiracy theorists or truthers, whatever you want to call yourself, it doesn't matter to me, it's all the same, is to look at the first 48 hours, to see how the story changes, to see, what holes there are, and to look at things with a critical eye logistically instead of emotionally. Obviously, if it is, legit and there isn't a second, third part to this that serves an agenda, even though they always make it into that, we always feel for any victims as long as they're legitimate, which I don't believe that any of us, after two shows with Wolfgang Halbig in the Sandy Hook show, that any of us really believe anymore. I don't. I can speak for myself. And also just an update on that. A lot of people know we talked about being censored First Amendment rights and YouTube shadow banning us. And that's the only show they took down because Wolfgang Halbig is so blacklisted. So start on Friday. First letter from the lawyer from the Nasty Gram goes out to YouTube. So we'll be keeping you updated on that. And when we need the Hameen army, the Horsemen army to ride out, we'll definitely come down on them like the Comanches on Custer. There's no saving for them. But GGP, what are you thinking about this possible tragedy today?
First of all, my condolences goes to the people who are affected. The families. It sucks, man. It sucks. If it's real, I don't know. I haven't ventured into looking into this. I was too busy doing research on Tesla all day and working. But what people need to realize out there is this, because I get this all the time. Something goes down, I get a call, I get a question asked by this one and that one. Oh, was this fake? Was this not real too? Did no one not die? We don't say that, everything that goes on is fake.
Yeah.
We majority of us like to tell you guys that don't believe everything that's told to you, because 9 out of 10 times the narrative that is presented by the media, who's controlled by corporations and the governments and so on and so forth, is wrong. And it's fabricated. So with that being said, all we say is just keep an open eye and open ear and make your own assessment when the time is right. But it's pretty I don't want to use the wrong terminology here. It's pretty messed up that something goes on, people get affected, yet the actual narrative changes, like a hot potato gets passed around. Same thing with Vegas. How many times the story change, and the bottom line is we still haven't seen any footage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that itself is a smoking gun right there. How the hell? Even with the Pentagon on 9/11, we haven't seen any footage. The Pentagon, the most secure surveillance building probably in Washington, D.C. besides the White House. And you tell me there's no video footage? And then on top of that, Vegas, there's thousands of cameras all over the place. We can see an ant fart in Vegas and they know about it because of how many cameras are out there. And you telling me there's no footage? Come on, man. Something doesn't smell right. And like you said.
It's the ant farting.
Yeah.
My aunt farts all the time, so it'd be easy to catch her.
But regardless of the fact, it's just a fucked up situation. That's it. And I just feel sorry for I don't even know, you said 17, 16 people got shot?
16 per, I guess. There's the body count now, more injured.
Yeah, it went from wounded to body count.
Yeah.
Shit.
So
man, my heart goes out to everyone, man.
But then they also, I guess, have the shooter in custody instead of dead men tell no tale, which is which would make me initially believe that this is far more of a real incident than Sandy Hook or Vegas, because they can change the narrative or the story of the dead shooter 1,500 times to fit whichever they want to pass whatever legislation. So we don't want to obviously make light of it as it's happening in real time, but I look for the third-party follow-up journalism to really get on this and keep an eye on the next 48 hours. Send us, anything that you guys see, because we're always trying to keep our ear to the ground on this kind of stuff when it happens, because unfortunately, as workers and as much as we've seen and studied already, we're just predispositioned to being that way. And Sal, it was interesting you were saying with your dental hygienist, that
right, it's code word, man.
Yeah,
come on.
That she had already forgotten about that, and that is the greater part of the conditioning of these psyops to have them happen in X amount of time, so you become numb to them. It's a boy who cried wolf scenario, and then when something really big does go down, you're not going to have the visceral gut reaction and fear because you've already been tortured and tormented so much that your senses are numb to it.
Well, like at 3:30, 4 o'clock today when this was going down and we were watching it, just watching, I do enjoy people watching. I enjoy watching these other people's reaction, especially because it's so different from us and people I know. And when they said they caught they apprehended the shooter, it was that kid in the maroon burgundy shirt, whatever, and they were putting him in the ambulance at first. Now he was in an ambulance being taken away. She's looking up at the TV watching, and she's like, "Good, thank God they caught him," because now it's all wrapped up.
Yeah.
Because now they're going to get all the answers from him because he's just going to spill the beans. So, listening to her talk about it, she was like stuck watching the TV and she was absorbing it all. And I'm sure she's like that on every single thing. Okay. So while she's doing this, she filled me in because I got there and she's telling me all the things because I said I didn't know what happened. She's telling me, et cetera, et cetera. So here she was. She has all this information because she's been glued to the TV watching this and absorbing this. A week from now, she'll have forgotten who this kid was or why he did it, or because they're on to something else. Because she puts in, and I feel like that's the majority of what we're seeing. Someone who's taking all this information in and says right here and now, if you question her, she'll have a lot of questions and, wow, I wonder what. If they don't give anything and there's nothing to listen to, nothing juicy to bite onto, a week or two after this, it'll be gone.
Yeah, at this point, if you were to ask her who Adam Lanza was, would he be the Sandy Hook shooter or a finalist on The Voice? You know what I mean?
That's the kid from American Idol.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I just wanted to put that out there, and all of our truth seekers, if you're watching this show, you've already got that mindset, so you're looking at it, and we appreciate that. But it definitely worth a mention. So, anybody got anything else before I switch gears to the Conspiracy Horseman mailbag? No, we're good, guys. All right, y'all lost. So, conspiracyhorseman@gmail.com, getting blown up like World Trade Center 7, and we're here to try and get through it as fast as we can. But there's a lot of them in here. We want to get to Tesla, but this might save us because none of us are as smart as Tesla to be able to break down exactly what he was doing. So let's check it out, shall we? All right. New one here. Well, that's junk mail spam who wants to promote our podcast. Thank you, Akash Dubé. Strong brand identity.
Go buy some shirts at Pro Wrestling Tees. /Beat Got Poppin' on.
That's right.
You want to promote.
Akash Dubé. Hello, Conspiracy Horseman. This is from Miro XTVC32200 @gmail.com. Adrian Ho.
What the?
I don't know.
Okay.
Hello, Conspiracy Horseman. Before I tell you about this conspiracy, I want to say that I did enjoy listening to Stevie Cool put Papa Don in his place about kissing WWE's ass. No disrespect to Papa Don.
What are you talking about? I wasn't here last week.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
This is a clone. I would like for you guys to talk about this conspiracy on your show if you can. Proof of a parallel universe. Here are some links to the country of torrid conspiracy. And, parallel universe links. So we definitely need to look in these. I'll pass these around. Forgive me for not doing it, but just look at this real quick. One of the most perplexing events of the 20th century did not involve flying saucers, conspiracy theories, or criminal act, or even strange creature sightings. It took place on a seemingly normal day in one of the most tedious, mundane places one can imagine, an airport. Yet to this day, no one knows exactly what happened there or why one average business traveler became the heart of an enigma largely forgotten by our modern world. In 1954, it was hotter than normal in Tokyo, but at the Haneda airport, it was business as usual. That is, of course, until one unknown date when a routine European inbound plane dropped off its passengers. As the crowd made its way through customs, a neatly dressed middle-aged Caucasian man stepped up and told officials this was just a normal business trip for him, one of 3 so far this year to Japan. His prime language is French, yet he spoke Japanese and several other languages. In his wallet was a variety of currencies from the various European countries as if to verify his frequent flyer tendencies. They then asked him for his country of origin, and things became strange. He casually stated he was from Torrid, on the border between France and Spain. I've heard this conspiracy before. I'm not sure if you guys have.
Me too.
The officials told him that Torrid didn't exist, but he presented them with his passport issued by the non-existent country of Torrid, which also shows his visa stamps corroborating his previous business travels to Japan and other countries. Yet when they called the company, he said he was having a meeting with they had never heard of him or his company ever before that moment. The hotel he had reserved a room had no reservations for such a person, and the bank listed on his checkbook appeared to not exist. The bearded man scoffed. Surely this was some kind of elaborate practical joke for his benefit. Custom officials showed him a world map and pointed to the tiny country of Andorra. Perhaps that was his real country of origin, and somehow he was either mistaken or his own little joke. This goes on, but I'll wrap it up. He was held for a long time. They had his passport and his driver's license from the mystery country, and then when they came back to get him, he had vanished. And just like some Back to the Future, so did the passport and the license as well. It is documented that it happened. What I want to kind of go with here is the Secure Team 10 put out a video this morning that a missing New York skier was skiing down a hill, and they was thought missing, and he showed up 2,900 miles away in his full ski gear. So some strange and interesting happenings of, are we going through parallel universes? Are we time warping? Are we stargating? Are we jumping? What was the show? Quantum Leap. Some very interesting and cool stories. This kind of stuff I would much rather cover than, what we have to with shootings and false flag attacks. Absolutely.
I was going to say that from what I've heard from this conspiracy theory videos and all this stuff and what they say with time travel, the difference between that and the Stargates is time travel. You really can't keep your clothes when you go from one time period to another, or a parallel universe, or whatever the theory is that these people cover. This sounds more like one of those Stargates, which, if you want to kind of lean into that theory, the reason why we want new Iraq wasn't because of the oil, wasn't because of, the resources or freedom, as we said, or regime change. Yeah. There's supposedly, and we covered that in the episode with Tim Alberino, Giants episode, one of the best ones we've done. There's supposedly a Stargate there. That's pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, Temple of Ba, I believe it is. I'm not sure if I can remember off the top of my head. But that is also, supposedly they sent an alien ET phone home. ET got sent home there through that Stargate, possibly.
During the war?
I think it was 2006. So yeah, I think that's what it was, because it was when I was on with Jan, the head of MUFON, and that story had come out. He questioned one of the top guys, the military dudes there, and they said, we have the technology not to phone home, but to send them home. So whether it's like at the end of They Live and boom, you're gone in a couple seconds and moving through time and space again. Very interesting, man, when it comes to that. I think this Torrid story, could be a little enhanced. I'd like to see the paperwork of him in customs. That would lend a little more credence to it. But whether it's John Teeter, this guy, and now we're seeing a lot more time traveler stories show up where they're almost stooging themselves off. So I saw one that was real sketchy where they hooked this kid up to, he's supposedly from 2030. It was on one of our alien channels, or, Finding Truth channels. And they had him hooked up to a lie detector machine, and they were asking him questions. So it felt like they were leading him, but the lie detector came back that he was telling the truth on each one. However, he said there was a microchip in his hand between his index finger and thumb, and he agreed, or it might have been on the outside of his thumb, I can't remember, by his palm. But he said there was an implant there that he had ever since he was born, and he agreed to go to the dude's interviewing doctor. They took the x-ray, and it was in the x-ray in his hand. So I like legit pieces of proof like that. I'll send that one through. You guys will be like, oh, this interview is a complete work, and I didn't want to hear that bullshit from you. But once that x-ray comes up, I was all burnt out from last week. Once that x-ray comes up, it's a nice little, extra piece, cherry on the sundae. So, Sal, what do you got, man?
No, I started looking up some stuff, but I feel like I sent you guys it was kind of a goof for the X-Files when he was talking about the Mandela effect,
yeah,
and how maybe that is the converging of worlds. So what you're remembering did happen, just not in this world. So again, it was a goof. The whole show was the tongue-in-cheek episode, but to me, like, that is as good a reason as any, especially if you're going to believe in alternate worlds and being able to actually contact other worlds. And who's to say that, with aliens, it's not the same deal, like where they are implanting ideas and memories just kind of as a mass as a mass conditioning, kind of like, oh yeah, this happened. Just you guys don't remember it, but it happened for us this way. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I mean, could that go to reincarnation as well? Memories of another time.
Yeah, like you're remembering it, but you're not remembering it from your world because it didn't happen in your world. You're remembering when we first carried you through, or maybe you got sent home. That sort of thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's tough to say. Oh well, this is gonna be.
You know what? I don't want to hear you fucking say, "Oh, this is stupid," whatever. I don't want to hear it. Okay.
No,
Just shake
I'm
your
with
fucking
it.
head. And say, "Yeah, good one, Sal. Good. I agree." Just say it. And move on.
Shit.
Steve,
Good
what do
one,
you got?
Sal. I agree.
Steve,
Attaboy,
top it down. You know
Sal.
how to play the game. That's why.
Listen.
That's why they love him.
Of course.
Which version?
First thing. Steven didn't put me in my fucking place or this email.
Is that all you got out of that fucking email? Like the one line?
Shit.
Oh my
And
god!
I give him credit that he didn't interrupt the email. He held it like a pro.
Okay. It was just a difference of opinion. So that's that. Now, whether or not Stevie's correct or I'm correct, like I said, it's all about perception. Okay. When it comes to symbology, because sometimes you want to see something that's there and it's not really there, but your mind tells you it is there. I mean, how many times you're walking in the dark and you think you saw something and it wasn't really there, but your mind's playing tricks on you, Anyhow, I digress. Now, as far as this
Hey Siri, how many days is 10 years?
you're joking,
The
right?
answer is 3,652.43 days.
That's how long I was with the company.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
God.
So it's not a difference of perception.
Okay,
Okay,
Anyhow.
go on.
let's move forward. All right.
I'm gonna interpret. I
Okay.
like because I just one more cutoff. I can never let you go from this point on. When you admit you're wrong is when you don't admit you're right. Does that make sense?
Say that again.
When you
slowly.
say, well,
When
we
I
have a
admit
difference of
that I'm wrong?
opinion or everybody has their own perception, I love you and I know you as a friend, you're admitting you're wrong. Because do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's not the point. What the hell just happened here? Something just popped up on my Skype.
Yeah,
Anyhow.
I'm sending images over for this next one.
Oh, all right, cool. Well, fucking technology, huh? Thank you, Tesla.
Yeah.
Anyhow, when it comes to biology, brother, it's all perception. I see a triangle. I think it's a triangle. You think it's a pyramid that belongs to the Egyptians with the all-seeing eye? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly.
That's
But
the only thing
anyhow.
that explains that.
So, as far as this guy goes, I heard about this story. It's documented, so it's true. As far as him disappearing, it could happen. I mean, look, man, it all comes down to one word: CERN. When they're messing with reality and they're trying to find the God particle and they're trying to create black holes and dark matter, and they're changing the weight of electrons, it's going to cause a shift in reality. All right. And there's a lot of evidence from this Mandela effect nonsense. I mean, some of it, okay, maybe not. Like this new thing about Pokemon coming out, not Pokemon, Pikachu coming out with his tail, the tip of his tail being black in the old world, and in the new world it's fully yellow. That's, who knows. But
Well, that is important, though, man. I mean, for us, we're not millennial pansy asses who give a shit about Pokemon, but that's the same as the A-Team van changing. You were pretty fucking hyped when you saw that, dude, because that's straight out.
Dude, but that's the truth, because when we touched base on the show, I said it was black with a
No,
red
it's
stripe.
perception.
It's perception. What I'm saying, though, we're both talking about a color stripe, whether it's millennial pussies who give a shit about Pokemon, or if it's fucking people like us who would rather watch 48 Jeeps flip on an A-Team thing and say, "What are you talking about?"
Or nobody gets killed.
Or, no,
at
what are you
all.
talking about? That was different strokes.
Hey, I'll do the analogy that we can understand, and the people in the room who are a lot of wrestling fans. This is like saying, well, it's just small details in the booking, just small details in the show. What's the difference? we're here to sweat the small details.
Nobody.
And if you really want to get deep in the rabbit hole, I mean, I've seen videos talking about this Mandela effect being glitches in the matrix. So if you're talking about switching electrons, which could be reprogramming in a way, if you really want to just kind of like really get into a maddening level of just the rabbit hole.
It's a software update in the matrix, not necessarily a glitch. Like they uploaded the new Windows 10 into our head from Windows Vista or whatever it was, and these things are changed forever now, and we really are batteries plugged in.
Do you think people that are like us who actually question everything are sort of like not so much viruses, but kind of like apps that aren't really running the way they should in the computer system? No, I'm saying, we're kind of not really functioning the way it was all planned with that theory.
Yeah, we're the
What would be the parts that need to be cleaned up and decompressed?
Or suicided.
So everything ran faster.
Or we're BitTorrent.
I don't believe we live in a matrix, dude. I don't believe that.
I'm BitTorrent. That's what I am in the fucking.
Okay. Nice. Pop.
So you saying Papa Don would be Napster?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, crash your hard drive.
You talk about Inception, sending emails to companies when I, in fact, an email myself. Just getting ridiculous.
But what I wanted to say is it's also documented that there are, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, nobody was talking about alternate realities and parallel universes.
Not true.
Now what?
That's not true.
That is true.
Dude, tons of people have been talking about that.
Like 20 years ago in the 90s, you had scientists talking about parallel world theory and parallel universe theory.
No, scientists weren't. Wait,
talking...
hang on. I'm not a scientist. I can't say that. The mainstream media and all those people, they were not. No.
Okay,
there were tons of people though who were talking about it. They were called fringe. They were called the fringe people. They're the crazy, the lunatics.
All right. Well, you and Dean Ambrose can talk about parallel universes all you want. What I'm saying is this. Hold on a second. Let me finish my thought before I fucking CT kicks.
Sorry, I'm doing my ball impression.
Thank you. Now, we have this guy with a D-Wave computer, Jordy, comes out, and he's saying that and he's presenting this to not a group of people at Comic-Con, to legitimate business people and officials and probably government officials as well. And he's telling them, we're going into different dimensions and we're stealing their resources and bringing it here. So we're being the heels and we're stealing shit when and going into other dimensions. So that's one recollection right there. That's one proof of admission, and they're saying that it exists. Okay, then we have CERN itself. Okay, now they're saying that all the testing could lead or is the cause of all this parallel universe. So now parallel theory is not a theory anymore because everyone's talking about it like it's facts. Okay, so 10 years ago, 20 years ago, early 2000s, we weren't talking about no parallel theory or jumping in and out of universes and this and that. Everything was constant.
You got a point.
Now I believe because of what's going on that it is true.
What are they talking about now? Constant AI masters, which so in 20 years now, shit's going to be real crazy. And they just
you're probably right, dude.
They just had a secret meeting, world leaders, on the 10th of what are we going to do to regulate AI and to talk behind closed doors. So keep an eye out for that Stooge report. We should send that one around.
However, as we all saw, those robots can now open those closed doors.
Well, two things. Number one, Bilderberg Group. All the big head guys from Silicon Valley were in this year's Bilderberg Group meeting. You know what I mean? First time ever. So right then and there, that should actually raise an eyebrow and say, hey, what's going on? Why are these guys from Techland over there going to a meeting of government officials? Something has to be.
Quick point on that. What? They should actually make a new Divas faction with girls with fake gimmicks and call them Silicon Valley. Go ahead.
I love it.
Nice.
What I'm going to say about you're so quick to shut down the simulation theory or the Matrix, but physicists on the level of the guy with the D-Wave computer all got up on stage not too long ago and talked about the universe being zeros and ones, and there is a good chance. I'm not saying I believe that, but we're here to kind of open up to everything. That is also something that people are saying is generally real. This is an Elon Musk thing. This is the famous physicists that are considered to be the best around the world, right on par with the people that created quantum computing. So, and once again, quantum computing, it's a computer that does God knows how many billions or trillions of, computations per second now to whatever 9th, 10th, 11th, 100th power. That's what I'm saying. This is all connected with technology. This could be AI, could also be connected with this theory. It just seems like everything's kind of coming together instead of being so many separate theories. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It does. It absolutely does. But I'm saying, as far as people jumping in and out of parallel universes like this guy over here at the airport, I totally believe it happened. Because now, I mean, if we didn't have any evidence or anyone talking about parallel theories or parallel universes, or they're saying they're jumping in and out of parallel universes to steal resources and bring them home here, then I can say, okay, man, maybe the guy was just doing it for shits and giggles. But now people are talking about it left and right. And we all witness stuff that we don't, 18 van, mirror on the wall. God, C-3PO with a freaking silver leg. What the hell is that? You know what I mean? Like, we grew up and we don't remember this stuff. We remember
Imagine what's changed in this world that actually matters, like that we don't even know about. And I'm saying this is the same thing. And we talked about predictive programming. So there's been tons of shows on both ends. The Matrix on the computer simulation, and then X-Files, Sliders. Wait, how many movies, TV shows where they cartoons, animation, Justice League stuff where there's parallel or universes, there's Earths.
The new Paradox, what is it?
Flashpoint.
No, Cloverfield Paradox.
Cloverfield Paradox.
Oh yeah,
they zap into a new one.
I was with you on that one too, Steve.
Yeah.
But the one thing that Stevie said, the Terminator thing, going back in time and losing their clothes because you can't go through time and all that stuff. I don't know if I believe that 100%, because there's a lot of stuff that we see, from pictures from back in the day. And there's people who are at a place in these pictures wearing modern clothes during the time when those clothes didn't exist. You know what I mean? So if that was the case and someone came back in time, he wouldn't be wearing a hoodie when everyone's wearing a suit, and ties and hats. And he's wearing sunglasses and a hoodie in the picture, in a black and white picture, and he totally stands out. You know what I mean?
How come ghosts always wear the same shit from, like, so if ghosts are real, they're always wearing like their period clothes. If people say, oh, I saw a ghost from who was in this house from when he was a slave, and so he had slave clothes on and he had old 1800 clothes, like, you know what I mean? Like,
because you can't go to Ghost Foot Locker and get the new Jordans, but you can go to Ghost.
You don't know that.
Well, Seth Rollins could help him out, I'm sure.
Well,
this particular one.
I think we're all focusing on the wrong part of that. The fact that I'm just saying, it's just
I like Ghosts with the blue and the cream joints. Those are my shits right there.
The Wallaby Clark.
Yeah, the Wallies. No one's going to get that except for you. All right, got to move forward because we got to get to Tesla and we're running out of time. We got a lot of mail to get to still. Kevin Stiles, guys, love the show. You're a great addition to Russo brand. Y'all are glad to be on. Quick question. Have you seen the portraits painted by Gahinda Wiley? Those are the pictures I sent you guys in chat. She's the woman who painted the Obama portraits. I've attached two. Do you think it's coincidence? There are no coincidences, right? He wrote that in there. That's not me. The Obamas chose her to paint their portraits, or are they just trying to tell us that they hate white people? What are your thoughts? Well, we all hate white people, don't we?
Here's my question. Do you think the Obamas even knew?
Everyone would have to be vetted. And Michelle's new portrait came out this week and got a lot of weird heat too, right? That it didn't look like her at all and things like that. So when I see any of this art that is this, I don't know, massacre art or anything like that, instantly takes me to Podesta brothers and what they did from the genocide that happened in the 90s, and that artist who painted all those little girls and preteens that either drowned in massive mass graves or being sexually abused in some shower scene. And this seems to be the flavor of the month. And if you roll with that crew, then it's going to be oh, I like that artist. Well, guess what? I found this controversial artist who did this shit too. And it'll be right in their faces. And it's people like you, Kevin Stiles, who actually knew enough to maybe investigate, look further into this. But to them, that's just a big fucking joke on the Nancy Browns of America who like, oh, I love the new Obama painting because they haven't seen the other work of this artist, Kehinda Wiley, Kehinde Wiley. So good on you for sending it. I hadn't seen these. It's two different 70s
So what's the
looking
gimmick?
black women, and they've decapitated two white heads and they're holding them there. Like it looks,
That's her whole shtick.
that's the whole thing, and it's got floral prints in the back as well. So
Oh, how very festive.
yeah. Very nice.
Very,
you know,
very dignified.
it'll make a nice Christmas card.
It's like
to
they
send
did
around.
over at grandma's house, like an Italian grandma's house. It looks like the couch that they upholstered.
So,
The one that's in the plastic.
on.
yeah. So shock value.
Shout out to all our Staten Island listeners.
What up, Shaolin? Yeah, interesting, Kevin. But I think this is more of an in-your-face, them laughing about it. Do they hate white people? I think they hate all people who aren't in the ruling class that George Carlin outlines of the group that it's a big club and you ain't in it. It just happens that this lady is sending a message in her other art of black empowerment and the white devil might have to die. Do Obamas believe that? I don't know, and I don't really.
I doubt it.
I don't even really care, to be honest with you.
His mother's white, dude.
Yeah, well, that could be self-loathing.
People forget about that.
Yeah, it could be self-loathing, and just the Muslim Brotherhood that they want to descend. But again, it's being a part of this cabal and having these strange ritualistic things, and it's cool of them to have that artwork on there, and for those in the know who can go and spend $150,000 to millions of dollars on paintings, that's what it's about for me. Go ahead, guys.
I think it's both sides, right and left, and that's what it comes down to in this world. Everybody's right or left. Right and left, they both are begging to find something to be offended about. Now, this is offensive, I guess, if you want. I think it's kind of cool, but should the Obamas have hired this woman to do this for the public one? Probably not. No. I'm just saying.
Well, that's
Just
the
like,
rib on everybody, right? That's
Yeah,
Nancy
yeah.
Brown when she sees, oh, Barack looks so distinguished. Well, he's not holding a
Look at
decapitated
him.
white head.
He's just distinguished. And
Adorable.
exactly. Like, so here's the deal. If they would have, if Trump turned around and got the guy who put the crucifix in the bottle of piss, remember that dude?
Yeah.
Right? So if he got him to do his portrait, people would lose their fucking minds. And just because who it is, but each side is just waiting for something to be offended about. I personally don't think the Obamas are like actively hating white people. I think they dislike anybody who can't give them something. Anybody who can't give them any kind of power or help or stroke or whatever else, then they don't care. They could care less. It means zero. So to me, when they find out about this, I could see them going, "Oh shit! Well, we're gonna have to put up with that." And they go, "So what? What are you gonna run for election again?" Yeah, that's right. Who gives a fuck? I don't. I'm gonna go to Singapore and fuck a kid. He doesn't care.
No.
So this means so little. All it does is keep his fucking name in the papers and in media. No one cares.
Yeah, it is some death cult comedy, I guess.
Yeah.
Shit.
Like, think about it.
Yeah.
Like if you did this, Ben, you painted this picture holding Vince McMahon's head, and aside from offending GGP to no end, what else are they going to do to you? Nothing. It's publicity.
Tune in to Russo Brand next week and find out on Tuesday night, Wednesday replay.
Keep refreshing ProWrestlingTees.com/Ben Hummy and see if the T-shirt's up in the store.
I actually got 2 new shirts coming, and one is a 2CW throwback shirt that Josh has been cool enough he wants to put out there, and the other one is another one, but it's called, it's my favorite 2CW shirt, F the E, and it's the old WWFF, and then the new W turns sideways on E. So a couple new shirts coming out, and it'd be a good time. But definitely ProWrestlingTees.com/Ben Hameen. From Alex Clara, aclara1313@gmail.com. Hello, how are you doing today? I would like to know if you do auto detailing at your shop, and do you accept credit card payments? Thanks. I don't know.
Yeah, drop your car off.
Yeah.
Leave the keys in it.
with the
I'll
title.
make sure we get right on it.
Yep.
And make sure you leave your credit card because we're not sure how much it's going to cost.
All right. In the words of Roadkill, what's the rib?
I don't know. It's just spam, I think, but it was a good one. So
All right.
we'll
Like you said in the barbershop. Next.
yeah, we'll
We
definitely
read all the emails we get. We
That's
don't leave it. We're pretty transparent.
Yeah, we'll detail your shit, no doubt. Matt Schaffer, a big supporter of everything we do. Stevie Richards Fitness, Mean Discussion Group, a real OG. Good evening, gentlemen. Last year on Valentine's Day, 1 in 2 people celebrated it. $19.7 billion was spent by Americans. Is it a real holiday? Now I'm aware that Valentine's Day is named for a Christian martyr and dates back to the 5th century, but has origins in the Roman holiday Lupercalia. What's the real reason we continue to celebrate it? Do we continue to celebrate because we get programmed at such a young age to fill out cards and pass out candy? Or do we continue this tradition because of advertising and the natural fear of dying alone or not feeling loved? Have a good night, guys. By the way, I do have plans today, so I'm not just a bitter guy hanging out by himself. Matt Schaffer.
He's lying. He's hanging out by himself.
Yeah.
He's hanging out with a bottle of KY and he's stroking it to Sal doing his.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Easy.
No, you
Sal
really
doing his
you
Nakamura
fucked
fight.
yourself with another wrestling promoter. Congratulations. No bookings for you.
Yeah.
No, actually, he's doing great. That kid on the Stevie Fitness.
Yeah, he's
gimmick.
kicking ass, man.
It's called Stevie Richards Fitness. Thank you.
SFRFFFTYC.
Yeah.
HBO 1 2 3
HBO.
83.
Yeah, I go to Al Pacino, Son of Woman. Charlie, my boy, there's only 2 syllables in this world worth hearing. Pussy. Yeah, that's why. Because that shit is the most powerful drug. It will ruin more wrestling careers than anything you've ever seen. More than any gimmicks or anybody smizzing or alcohol. And I think that's it. Obviously, it's pumped up in the expectation of you got to get your lady something on that day. And is it the Hallmark gimmick? Sure. But getting laid is an endorphin rush, and an orgasm is the most powerful human thing that you release that you can have. So tie that to some money, and all great marketing ties emotion to the product. And that's exactly what I believe Valentine's Day is about.
Love is a chemical reaction forced on us by our bodies.
Love's a
But it's-
battlefield.
But it's more consumerism if you think about it. If you're talking
Sure.
about just that natural going out there, spending, trying to fill a hole in your life, sometimes quite literally, and
Fill a hole in your wife. You said, is that?
but it's just people really are so empty now that they always have to buy something. They always have to have something coming up or something to look forward to. They can't try to fill their lives any other way. So these calendar dates of these supposed holidays that you're supposed to spend money rather than, we see it right now, but places open on Thanksgiving. Now they're opening early. The Black Friday sales come out in September. There's tons of things that just push to consumerism. Valentine's Day is just one of those that's right up there at the top. Because you buy flowers.
Some of
and
those
they-
sales are good ones.
Okay, you got a good point. There is a Black Friday ad for Best Buy coming out this week, so stay tuned.
All right. Hope you answered that for you, Matt. And, hopefully you're doing more than some resistance band pulling yourself.
Even
later.
Santa Claus, dude. Even Santa Claus is a work. Now, not itself the whole guy and the reindeer and stuff, but his image. His image was conjured up by Coca-Cola. That's why he wears red and white. True story.
Well, also, if you go to our Saturnalia show, the red and white is satanic, and also the god for Saturn, Kronos, was the master of time and also had a long white beard from the North Pole because that's where Saturn was above our Earth. So all that plays into it as well from the Satan side. Now, Coca-Cola may have capitalized on it because their board of directors are all Kabbalists. I believe that to be part of it instead of, hey, marketing team, we need something to look like something. I think definitely it has more to do with Saturnalia than it did with Coke. James Booker, gentlemen, I'm a new listener and was drawn in after hearing Ben and Stevie on Russo's review show. Conspiracy Horsemen is now a can't-miss podcast for me. What are your thoughts on the theory that John Teeter is actually Donald Trump? Here's a link for your reference. Keep up the good work. Booker.
That's the, I know, Sal, if you're watching the video on Twitch, Sal's gone. But
yeah, I got the...
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Let me read it here. So this is from, obviously, UK rag, but the Daily Star. Donald Trump inauguration, John Teeter, time traveler from 2036, about to become president. As Donald Trump prepares for his inauguration as president, the theories of his supposed connection to the thrill junkie time traveler have resurfaced. Many are convinced that the man called John Teeter time traveled from the year 2036 to 2000 to warn the world of impending nuclear war at the hands of ISIS. Appearing only in online forums 6 years ago, nobody knew the identity of the man who vanished without a trace. But some are now certain that this man was none other than the president-elect Donald Trump. Conspiracy theorists now believe the billionaire tycoon Trump is poised to be the highest position on the planet to stop the impending nuclear war with ISIS terror nuts. Come on, there's no need to be hateful. Donald Trump, who has supposedly already seen a future ravaged by the destruction of nuclear conflict, is determined to avert the oncoming apocalypse at whatever cost. The conspiracy theory, which recently appeared on 4chan online forums, claims to be one of the most compelling explanations for Trump's shocking victory in the election in the last year. And then it shows, the old pictures and that kind of stuff. I don't know, man. I don't believe that Trump is John Teeter. John Teeter was a military guy. Trump doesn't seem like a military guy at all to me, and or a tech guy. And John Teeter had to go back to the 70s to get the IBM, to go to the 90s to work on Y2K. And he really didn't have anything to say in 2000 about the 9/11 attack. So if Trump really was that and went to 2000, you'd think that he would have tried to stop that as well. So I don't really think this one holds water. 4chan has great imagination, but I'm with Sal on this one. I don't think so at all.
What I did get out of that email, I am going to call you Terror Nuts from now on.
Terror Nuts? All right. That's what the old ladies call
when
me
you get
later
it, when you get into the Tesla stuff with Donald Trump's uncle, and then Tesla has a connection with time travel, has all this stuff. I'm not saying he is John Teeter, but there is some supposed conspiracy theories with time travel. Is it Philadelphia experiment? All this other stuff that connected Tesla, and of course Donald Trump's uncle had something to do with taking some of his documents.
That's
right?
Actually, it says after Tesla died in 1943, National Defense Research Committee called on MIT professor John Trump to look into his work in case there was any military application. Trump spent 3 days by himself. This is Donald Trump's dad, John, looking into the notes before concluding there was nothing of any significance. His report read, Tesla's thoughts and efforts during the last 15 years were primarily of speculative, philosophical, and somewhat promotional character. Conspiracy theorists claim Trump found theoretical designs for a time travel machine. And then they show the picture of John Teeter's in color. It's actually one of the better pictures I've seen of John Teeter's time travel machine. So John G. Trump spent a lot more time with his nephew Donald before he died in 1985. In the interviews, Donald Trump regularly brought up his uncle John and referenced his warning over nuclear weapons and the damage they may cause. During one such interview, he cryptically said, "My uncle used to tell me about nuclear before nuclear was nuclear." And he told the Boston Globe he would tell me that there are things that are happening that could be potentially so bad for the world in terms of weaponry. Trump told the Times that his uncle would tell him many years ago about the power of weapons someday, that the destructive force of these weapons will be so massive that it's going to be a scary world. What is strange about the warnings is that by the time Donald Trump was born in 1946, the U.S. already owned and used nuclear weapons. Trump also spoke about his dislike of nuclear weapons, saying, "I hate nuclear weapons more than any. My uncle was a professor at MIT. He used to tell me about it. Can I be honest with you? It's going to happen anyway. It's going to happen anyway. It's only a question of time." I don't know, man. I think we're reaching here big time. And it goes on to talk more about Teeter for anybody who doesn't know, but you can go to johnteeter.com, and that's an awesome website. Go ahead, Stevie.
No, that's pretty much it, that connection there. But like we said in the very beginning, it seems like Tesla is really the hub of all this, many conspiracy theories that we're talking about having to do with energy and this time travel thing. seems to be on the Tesla point, seems to have a lot of merit to it. And the fact that the FBI took everything, and there's a rumor, and that's the first time I'm hearing this. Did they actually murder Tesla? Is that one of the conspiracy theories?
We're going to get into that. Somebody just log off. Yeah, big Sal.
Yeah, Sal bounced.
I think he lost. Oops.
Maybe he fell into a Stargate.
All right. Here's the last one, and I want Sal to be back. Hopefully we can get him back on here because it's from our boy Hans. I know he loves Hans.
Oh, man.
It's a short one. Big Sal, you there, buddy?
Yeah, hang on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We
Can't
just see the picture.
Yeah. Hang on one second. My computer just restarted out of nowhere.
Oh, good.
Oh, my goodness.
Big brother. There you go.
There you are. We got one left here, and it's from our boy Hans. I know one of your favorites. So it's a short one. So here we go. Apologies for the short email. Just want to hit a couple points. Yeah, a couple of points. Number one.
Get the paper.
Number one. What the fuck happened to GGP? I'm no expert on religion. However, I know that what he was spitting last week was not in line with Christian or Catholic spots. I recommend the new Twitter handle @SatanOverHuge. Yeah. So yeah,
I disagree with you 100%. Anyway,
I don't know. Satan was over pretty huge last week with what you were spitting, so you might have something.
not at all, dude.
No,
Not at
You
all. There's
you
no-
misquoted God's mortal or immortal enemy. You said this is what I. Oh,
Even
we had
s-
a good week. We had a good week in Facebook Messenger. That could have been like a Patreon thing.
Yeah.
They access our Facebook messages.
Even Satan was like watching that show, going, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?"
Oh my God, he's making me look so fucking bad right now.
Fucking on the spot. What the fuck? 2, heard Elias on Stone Cold's podcast. He said the original name was Elias Sampson, and it was biblical. He also discovered that when he hit the main roster, they pulled the Samson from his name. Coincidence or another example of Vince versus God? See you on Twitch. So shout out Hans. We always enjoy hearing from you. That was our last one. Yeah, Vince versus God, Messiah Complex, the whole nine. Go back if you haven't listened to it. If this is your first show. It got hot and heated last week because obviously we all want to look at things critically, and I myself believe there are no coincidences, and all that symbolism is absolutely put there for the purpose of indoctrination and to spread a message of Luciferianism. And that's how I feel. Other guys on the show feel other ways, and that's fine too.
Oh God.
I'll do a much simpler Occam's razor version of the thing. Is Vince's pen ran out of ink, and he only could write Elias. Fuck it, I'm just gonna call him Elias.
Well, dude, he cut a lot of names. Like Cesaro's name got cut down to one name.
What was he
Sheamus's name
before?
got cut down to one name. Maybe he thinks it's more powerful. Like
Seamus was always Seamus. What did
no,
he get cut down?
Sheamus or something. When he
Seamus
first started, when he was in
O'Shaughnessy.
FCW.
Yeah, O'Shaughnessy. And what was Cesaro?
Antonio.
Antonio Cesaro.
Antonio.
Yeah, Antonio
Yeah.
Cesaro.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
So everybody's a Satanist, right? Especially
How the
Papa
hell
Don.
am I a Satanist? I'm not
I
a
didn't even
Satanist.
get to you yet. You're already defensive before I even said your name. My God.
All I said is that
Sorry,
you're-
Satan.
Jesus
Listen,
Christ.
buddy.
Yeah,
All
the
I
Greeks
said
invented
last
Satan.
week was that you should be in charge of your own life and you should take control. And that's
This is
it.
Satanism.
That is one of the.
How is
tenets of
that being a
Satanism.
Satanist? By
I sent you the
controlling your own
link
destiny?
with the. I sent you the link. You're in control of your own destiny and your life. You are your own God, which is exactly what you said.
No, I didn't say you are your own God. I said you're the top
So,
guy in
would
the
you
pyramid
play it
in
back?
your life. So like a God controlling
All right,
what you can
send
do.
conspiracyhorseman@gmail.com. Tell
I
us
didn't
if he did indeed say it or not say it. I know you did.
Good for you. Go get some
What?
sleeves.
See, that's like,
Go get your fucking.
see, now look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him. It's just like one of those narrative people just marginalizing the opposition.
I'm not marginalizing anything, buddy. That was my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. Just like you're entitled to your opinion. You like cats, I like dogs. That's it. That's it.
I don't mean to keep driving the point home. It's not your opinion when you say, you quote an edict of Satanism and say that's just my opinion.
No, I didn't quote Satanism. I didn't say that I am
Sal,
on the
Ben, am I
same
crazy?
level as
He did it.
God.
He
I
did
never
it, but he
said
was
that.
unaware. He's not like Satan says this. Like, he was trying to make a point that every man is his own master, and that's why here, now I'm gonna fucking go over strong on you. That's why I'm a Hitchens level atheist, and I don't believe in any of this shit because you're tied to a dogma, and I do believe that every man is his own master.
He just said he does like dogmas better than Catholics.
Yeah, that's right. But you are a self-professed Christian who believes in spirituality, and that dogma is that there is no false gods, that you need to believe in a higher power. The only way to heaven is through me, and all this other shit. I wipe all that away, and I don't believe in any of that fucking, malarkey or whatever it is to keep you, as a puppet. You know what I mean? To don't jack off because God's watching you. You're gonna burn in hell. Whatever it is, like all that's just bullshit stories for us. So. What you put over is the truth, in my opinion, but you also have, on the other hand,
you will put that over Anton LaVey.
Yeah. But on the other hand, you're tied because of your operant conditioning from your childhood and what you don't want to give up still on the Christian side. So you, in my opinion, you know the right way of what being a great human is, and that is every man is his own master and has to push through righteousness. But that's not what your book says.
No, but listen, what I'm saying is God gave us the power of free will, and I choose to dictate my life the way I see fit. So that's how I'm in control of my life, and that's how I am my own master.
Okay.
That's how I am the ruler of my universe.
You can't serve two masters.
No,
it's from the Bible. You can't serve two.
The Bible is a work, man. The Bible itself has been freaking written down, and books have been left out, and things have been changed to fit a
So what's the
certain
basis
narrative.
of your faith? What's the basis of your faith then? I'll ask a Ben question.
The basis of my faith is to treat everyone the way you want to be treated. Treat people
Harm
with
none
respect
till they
and
harm
love. And exactly, an eye for an eye.
Another tenet of Satanism.
No. Yeah, exactly. An eye for that's all. Listen, this is what I'm saying. I have faith. I'm a Christian, but I'm saying if you dispel the entire Bible and say, do you believe that God exists? Do you believe Jesus Christ?
Yes,
but it's in the Bible. If it wasn't
okay, but you know what else is in the Bible? Freaking what's his name got swallowed by a whale and lived in a whale's belly for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, well, that's why you watch Jacob Israel on YouTube, and he interprets it, and there's a lot of different things there that he can cover.
I agree with a lot what Jacob says about being that heaven is in the mind, and you could be the God of your own realm because you got to perceive what's in your mind and administer that into your lifestyle.
But you said the Bible is a work, and now you're basing your beliefs on the Bible.
It's been changed.
And and shout out Jacob Israel, but all that is more bullshit to justify. More bullshit to justify these fables. And to be honest with you, both of you guys are just early on atheists at this point. If you believe everything is a fucking work, you will get there.
He's a Satanist. I mean, I'm not going all the way that far.
Satan's as fucking phony as the rest of it. So it doesn't matter if Vince is putting that symbolism in for indoctrination, or it's the Royal Blue Bloods, or whatever cabal of Saturnalia. It's all bullshit. So they can go have orgies and blackmail each other and be at the heads of state. Neither side of that shit is real.
Okay, when are we going to throw this fucking kid in the well? When we doing this?
Well, all kids
are the
deserve
same
that.
people. Every time everybody wants to villainize CERN, the same people who villainize CERN are the same people who are saying this is an act against God. Same people telling us that we're going to call demons and everything else, other realms and everything else, all this other horse shit. Every single one of them was a Christian swinging a Bible at CERN.
Hold on a second.
Here's what's going in the chat this week.
I get
5 hours.
Please don't play the
hours.
Satanic Bible anymore.
I get flack. I get flack for saying that the symbolism in WWE is not initially maliciously satanic and Luciferian.
It definitely is.
But this guy right here is on the CERN bandwagon, and no one says anything.
Well, I know he wants a job at CERN too, but at least he admits it.
He wants monsters. He wants devils and shit to be real. He's the other way. He's the fucking one who doesn't believe, but wants to believe that shit. He's not saying that there definitely are, but we need solid evidence of them fucking coming out of the collider for that to happen.
Yeah.
So here, let me scoop you what's going to happen this week in our private chat. You're going to get about 7 hours of Christopher Hitchens to watch, and after that, you'll fucking have your head right. You're going to get hitch slapped. All right.
That's the name of the episode. There you go.
Well,
got it.
those are there's all videos called hitch slaps out there. If you haven't checked out hitch slap, do it. It's Hitchens eating every upper level Christian priest, rabbi to imam. He eats their lunch. So Christopher Hitchens, rest in peace, you crazy womanizing drunk bastard. So we're moving on to another guy who got killed, Nikola Tesla. And he is, we're running out of time. Things get hot and heated here on the Horsemen, and we got to cover it all. So closing up the mailbag. That's it. conspiracyhorsemen@gmail.com. We appreciate you all. Bring your cars over. We'll do some detailing. We'll even get out the armor all, do the tires up, get the salt off the outside, and
Hey, I think Stevie has enough salt for everybody.
And Stevie, Stevie will actually wear the cut off booty shorts for an extra $20 and do the washing. So
I'll do your windshield.
Like
Pop it out
dodgeball.
will read his favorite verses from the Satanic Bible.
Yeah. Every detailing comes with a free audio Anton LaVey book on tape read by Greek God Papa.
My GGP.
So, and this episode is also me reading a bunch of fucking copy. So here we go. Nikola Tesla, as you should know, possibly the most intelligent inventor, and tied to almost everything you have in your home, electronics wise, technology wise. So many people credited for his inventions. AC power, that's the first one, alternating current. So, I mean, you could stop right there. And
he didn't invent it, though. He harnessed it.
He harnessed it, correct.
Yeah.
To the radio, which I know Italian Pride takes a lot. What was it? What was the guy? Because there was a whole
Marconi.
Yeah.
Marconi.
Yeah.
You didn't fucking do. You didn't invent it, my man.
So
you go back to the Sons of Italy over there on Snake Road.
Nikola Tesla. A Serbian Croatian, mathematician.
He was also Greek too.
Yeah,
true story. His father was a Greek Orthodox priest. I shit you not.
Yeah, well, it's tough to take anything you say seriously after all your satanic rituals.
Satan's a trickster.
He is. And then really what the big thing that people want to talk about is the Nikola Tesla death ray that he was working on in secret, and really has been tied now to what most people believe is HARP, the program out of, well, it's all over the place now. There's HARP stations all over, but mainly out of Alaska that can change weather patterns and fill the ionosphere with electricity and do a multitude of very strange things. It's the most, kilowatts tied together, daisy chain, these huge radio antennas to put insane amounts of power out. But what happened in November is these Tesla files that were supposedly missing for 50 years, 60 years were declassified through Freedom of Information Act. And Tesla was killed or was found dead from a supposed cardiac arrest in 1940 in a hotel in New York City. Broke, didn't really have any money because everything that he had made had been taken from him and stolen for profit by corporations. Shocker there. But there's a lot of strange circumstances surrounding it, and it's still kind of a whodunit story where they tried to wrap it up as natural causes. So we'll talk a little bit about that, but this is from the New York Post, I believe, no, New York Times, 1940. So bear with me, guys. Anybody got anything to add before I get into this and shoot my mouth off more?
The only thing I'm going to say is the fact that like we were saying, me and you were talking. I had never heard of this dude, never heard of Tesla until junior year of high school.
Yeah. He's washed from the kindergarten through 12th grade programming. Should be almost a half a year unit on whether it's STEM technology stuff, your shop class, electricity, history of America, like all that. He should be in all the books. And the fact that he's been scrubbed from all the textbooks that you were conditioned with should tell the story. Elementary school kids should know about this dude. junior high kids should be making Tesla coils and things along those lines. So it's crazy, man. That tells the bigger tale of what vendetta they really had against him.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
There can only be one vendetta, and that's the fact that he wanted to give whatever invention would be free, like energy. It has to be that.
Yep.
There was money to be made by not releasing this, and there was money to be lost if it was released. It's as simple as that. And there was a way to militarize it after they take it from him.
Yeah, it had all the telltale signs, whether it's the electric car, the car that runs on water, those guys killed, the ability to harness power for free and give free energy to everyone. He's back on the heavy hitter. Welcome back, Sally.
Well, listen, man, he was just a bad businessman. I mean, the fact of the matter is he had so many patents. I think he had over 200 patents.
No, over 700.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, point being is he sold a lot of his patents, and he was supposed to get residual income at one point. I think he was supposed to get like $2.50 or something like that at the time for every 1 current of AC that was used or sold. And the person who bought the patent couldn't afford to pay him. So instead of settling on cents on the dollars, he basically washed his hands and says, okay, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out at a later date. And then he got screwed.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main reasons why he ended up broke and living in a hotel on credit.
Well, that's the thing. This is true even today. With all genius, there's madness.
Oh, absolutely.
And this guy was such genius that he cared about his work going forward. A recluse, a guy who didn't even have to write a lot of things down, which is a lot of his notes that were released are incomplete, and you can see the thought process of where he jumps around, and that's just the high level thinker he was. So for even today's scientists to try and emulate what he did makes it very, very difficult.
He was like the Biggie Smalls of the science community because Biggie didn't have to write down his rhymes.
Well, actually, yeah, a lot of people say, Biggie, you're the Nikola Tesla of rap. A lot of people used to say
I
that.
know, bro. I was just saying it to Poppy.
Do they still say that?
Yeah, he is, absolutely.
When they talk to him because he's still alive?
Who, Biggie?
Yeah, him and Tupac.
Yeah, him, Tupac, and Elvis went back home.
And Crisley killed them all.
They're saying, like, GDP, you're like the Satan of wrestling.
Oh, shit.
I love you, Stevie.
That's
love
why
you too.
That's why Vince is scared of you.
Vince is not scared of me. I don't even think Vince knows who I am, to be honest.
He's afraid you're going to rival him in the
He
evil.
doesn't want the competition.
Exactly.
Probably. Because I probably won't put up with his shit, to be honest with you. To be honest, if I didn't want to do something, I wouldn't do it.
Hey, easy. We're all having fun here. Take it easy.
No, I'm being serious.
I know.
Like
Take it
Tesla.
easy.
No,
Oh,
but
there goes that Hall of Fame speech induction. I'm
That's
just
it.
going to
That's
cancel
it.
that. Let me delete that file.
Oh
That's
yeah,
not
like you're
gonna
gonna be the
happen.
one inducting me into the Hall of Fame. You know what? That's a funny story with
Gotta watch the
itself.
show, buddy.
I do watch
Well,
the show.
you don't have to. We have to. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But anyhow, but yeah, they were saying that Tesla he had OCD, and they're saying that everything he did had to be divisible by 3. He had to walk around the block 3 times before he walked into the door. And they were saying that when he was young, he had such a vivid imagination that it was hard for him to distinguish reality from imagination. So at one point, I believe he was like 12 years old, they said that he was able to banish these visions that he would have and control them by using mind control. And basically, he lived within his visions, and he traveled the world within his visions, and he was able to learn to speak all these different languages at an early age just through his imagination. And a lot of people who believe like in ancient alien theories and like George Tsoukalos and all those guys, they believe that he was more of a host for aliens, and they were actually talking to him, giving him these ideas from an early age. So that's a theory within a theory. Just a little knowledge for you guys.
That's very cool, man. Yeah, I like also too that his first internship and job after out of school was working for Edison, and he didn't get along with him, and then got shit canned. He had enough. Kind of, if Edison was Vince then, and he was the top indie worker, he told him to kind of fuck off too and went his own way. And at least was a man of his own conviction to go after whatever his invention goals were. Unfortunately, like most indie workers, he ended up broke and bitter and murdered.
Murdered. but honestly though, I mean, he has that artistic pride. We all have it.
Sure.
I mean, that's why you guys shit on the fucking WWE product, because it doesn't agree with your pride. You know what I'm saying? And your taste or your flavor of ice cream. Okay.
No, it's because it sucks.
Well, tomato, tomato, potato, potato. I mean,
You're definitely not watching. You're definitely not watching.
The last thing I watched, I think, was
Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble is
the Royal Rumble. That's it.
1987.
You know,
The one with
listen,
Sean.
man. My flavor of ice cream for wrestling is reality. If you can't book something and make it look real, and you're basically shitting on the business, I'm not gonna like it. So it is what it is. But I digress. We're not talking about wrestling here. We're talking about Tesla.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of Tesla in each and every one of us because we take pride in what we do, as opposed to just selling ourselves short, you know, or holding out for more cash like Stevie likes to do at the end of the day. But that's another story within itself.
New York Times, 1940, September 22nd. Death ray for planes. Nikola Tesla, one of the truly great inventors who celebrated his, his 84th birthday on July 10th. This can't be right, 84th. Tells the writer that he stands ready to divulge to the United States government a secret of high teleforce, with which, he said, airplane motors would be melted at a distance of 250 miles so that the invisible Chinese wall of defense would be built around the country against any attempted attack by an enemy air force, no matter how large. This teleforce, he said, is based on an entirely new principle of physics that no one has ever dreamed about, different from the principle embodied in his big inventions relating to the transmissions of electrical power from a distance, for which he has received a number of basic patents. This new type of force, Mr. Tesla said, would operate through a beam once 100 millionth of a square centimeter in diameter. 100 millionth of a square centimeter in diameter. Wow. And
I guess reading isn't fundamental in the Middle East, huh?
Yeah, well, you should see how tiny this text is this is from the FBI.gov vault right here. And it's a legit,
It was on microfilm.
It is. It's a newspaper clipping that's been scanned. So you can eat two dicks. That's what Greeks invented, eating dicks. Where were we here?
I'm more interested by why they redacted and blacked out a lot of stuff here and there, like entire pages. That's pretty interesting.
In diameter, and could be generated from a special plant that would cost no more than $2 million and would take only about 3 months to construct. A dozen such plants located at strategic points along the coast, according to Mr. Tesla, would be enough to defend the country against a possible aerial attack. In ordinary times, such condition would be a very likely enterprise and insuperable obstacle. Insuperable? Man, 1940. But times being what they are, obviously this is the peak of World War II right here, and with the nation getting ready for spending billions on national defense at the time, taking the consideration of the reputation of Mr. Tesla as an inventor who always was many years ahead of his time, the question arises whether it may not be advisable to take Mr. Tesla at his word and commission him to go ahead with the construction of his Teleforce plant. Such a device is invaluable. After all, $2 million would be relatively a very small sum compared with what it already is at stake. If Mr. Tesla has really fulfilled his promise, the result achieved would be truly staggering. Not only would it save billions now planned for air defense by making the country absolutely impregnable against air attack, but it would also save many more billions in property that would otherwise be surely destroyed no matter how strong the defenses are. Witnessed current events in England. Take, for example, the Panama Canal. No matter how strong the defense, a suicide squadron of dive bombers, according to some experts, might succeed in getting through and causing such damage that it would make the canal unusable, in which case our Navy might find itself bottled up. So I think the answer right there to his death may be it, because if it only costs $2 million and they're going to spend billions, who's going to fucking make the money on the billions, right? It's going to be your steel companies at that time, your ammunition companies. And if he can give you a peace of mind for $2 million instead of those guys making $1 billion, that's pretty much writing on the wall as far as, hey, we're here for war profiteering, even though at that time it was possibly a far more legit war than the ones we get in now, but set the standard. And then the other part of that is surrounding his death is that supposedly Hitler's the one who had him croaked and sent Otto, what the hell's his name? Otto Vance? No. One second here. Otto Skorzeny, who was a big hitter and a top stooge for Hitler, that him and another guy came and posed as OSS, which is early CIA, and that this guy actually faked his death. Otto faked his death in 1975 and ended up living till the mid 90s to age 92 as underground war criminal, and that he stooged it off. This was on that Tesla show that's out now, Tesla Death Ray, if you guys want to catch up on it. And that on his deathbed he gave a bunch of pictures showing him all throughout his career, even when he was on the run, and other Nazis that were hidden. And he said that he and this other guy went to Tesla's room that night, smothered him with a pillow, and took all the plans that were there pretty much. And it was all Hitler calling in the hit, because he had heard about this death ray, and it's known that Hitler wanted to fuck over New York City and level it with nuclear, so pretty interesting whether it was corporate America. And the day before that, but the day before Tesla died, he had a meeting with U.S. military industrial complex leaders as well to put that over.
What's very interesting about that is what happened after the war when we, defeated the Germans.
Operation Paperclip.
Paperclip. Yep.
So all that information came right back to us.
Yes. So, and that's what started NASA. If you don't know, we brought in 5,000 Germans and their families, and that was what's the rocket guy's name? I got too many.
Von Braun.
Werner von Braun, who started, our rocket and telemetry, which would turn into NASA. And they were all Nazis, absolutely. And,
like George Soros.
Yeah, well, he sold out his own people, right? Even though he's a Jew, sold out to the Nazis. And, there's other shows now, Hunting Hitler with Tim Kennedy, that very much make it look like Hitler, of Hitler killing himself in the Fuhrer bunker and his woman, and that they got away to South America. So all these stories are opening up and changing, especially with Freedom of Information Act, as that generation has died off. You can find the Tesla files easily enough. Just look up Tesla files unclassified in Google. It'll take you right to the FBI vault site, and you can start looking through some of these clippings. But I thought that one was very telling of what I got through, of like $2 million. Shit, we were going to spend $1 billion right there. Kill them, Fuck that.
An interesting thing about how this all ties in together in a little bit more predictive programming is people say because the Operation Paperclip, the Nazis came over, NASA, government, stuff like that, that essentially it began a Fourth Reich afterwards.
Yeah.
The Nazi Party never really went away, which Captain America, Winter Soldier, is basically Hydra embedded in the U.S. government that they never got defeated in the 40s and 50s. And it just, the parallel between that and Operation Paperclip, NASA and all that stuff is just kind of weird.
I think that's more than predictive programming. That's a straight stooge off. Like that is, here's what really happened, Nancy Brown. And you might remember the Challenger exploding and have your emotions tied to that. But really what's going down is the fact that these guys were so far advanced in what they had, whether it was the levitating Bell UFO, the Foo Fighter stuff, that they wanted that. And actually, Tesla had created through his vacuums and the Tesla coil, able to do anti-gravity as well. And he actually used Leonardo da Vinci's sketches for the UFOs that in flying machines he made to combine them and implement them, because they were so aerodynamically correct and proportionately that he was able to possibly put his tech in there. I mean, there's sketches of it that have been declassified. I don't know how close they came to building that at Skunk Works or Lockheed or Area 51, but this guy, things that we are like, oh, when are we going to have flying cars? Well, this guy already could bend inertia to create anti-gravity. And he said that gravity is created because of two opposing forces. It's not even its own force. It's a creation because of something else. So just mindsets that we're not even wrapping our heads around in this millennium.
But they're trying so hard. And just as a reference, CBS, they have that
He said,
Hot,
fuck.
yeah, he with CBS.
He got hot, dude.
Fuck. So that morning show with the dude with the bow tie, they were showing the magnetic trains and they were showing how it's going to run, and everybody was, wow, that's so impressive. It's dog shit compared to the stuff Tesla was doing, like back in the 40s. They're doing it now, and then everybody's like, ooh, look at you. It's going to run on a magnet over, and we're going to put magnets all over the place. So that's how we're going to get floating cars. And everybody's like, wow, terrific.
You're not talking about the hyper gimmick, right?
Right. Yeah. The train, the two opposing magnets holding it off the rail, so
Right.
it never touches the rail. So they're edging that out now to the senior citizens who watch CBS, so they can go, yeah, that's great that we've come this far. Meanwhile, they had this shit going on in the 40s and 50s. So, they're just trying to work it in real slow. I guess Papa Don didn't even want to hear it.
He's like, nah, maybe you had to go catch the train. Who knows? Last one out to Ronkonkoma.
His handler called him out.
That predictive painting he has in the background. That's his MK. That's his
Trigger, yeah.
whatever word it is. Yeah, the trigger word, like Winter Soldier.
Oh, he's like the Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah. Well, once again, yeah, there you go, right there. The Winter Soldier is predictive programming for the Manchurian Candidate, which is also MK Ultra.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. Now.
Well, like that is the ongoing trend, and the trend is, like I was telling you, to make jokes about it and put it in Hollywood and make Jesse Eisenberg, he did that American Ultra.
Yeah.
That movie, right? So some stoner who gets triggered, he gets set. They set him off his way. American Winter Soldier. All these things now you could watch, and that'll basically get the kids in on it. Get the younger generation to know, who don't know what the Manchurian Candidate, who don't know what the Marathon Man is. Like all that shit.
Yeah. Or even to re-release Blade Runner to get them ready for AIs and all that kind of stuff too.
So as long as they keep doing it with a, with an artistic flair, I'm down for it. Just make it good.
Go ahead, Steve.
If people want to watch the movie that turned out to be a really good sleeper hit back in the day, that won awards too, I think, was The Prestige, which had Nikola Tesla in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Teleportation. So, all this different stuff. And he might have been able to access these rumored Stargates somehow and stuff like that. There's all sorts of power. Okay. You ready?
Yeah, I'm listening to you about the Prestige.
You had your little jolt. Now let's go.
Let's go.
We were talking about how Tesla, like we just touched on the teleportation in the Prestige movie and some predictive programming, but that's one thing. He might have had access to some sort of technology with a Stargate somewhere. He might have known about parallel universes in this multiverse way back in the day.
It seemed. Go ahead.
I was going to say, towards the end of his run, he was saying when he was looking to get money and continue his experiments, he was saying that he was actually receiving signals from Mars and he was talking to aliens, and people thought he was crazy, and it kind of backfired on him. But he was probably being 100% legit, because he was saying that he had radio transmissions from Mars that he was intercepting and he was receiving. He was able to communicate with people on Mars or with aliens on Mars.
I mean,
never heard that.
Who else
That's
was
crazy.
Who else was sending out signals at that level at that time? Probably nobody comparatively to him. And where was it on Long Island? I always want to say Montauk, but it's not. It was called something else with a W. That's where
It's Wardenclyffe.
Wardenclyffe, thank you. And his facility there, he had many facilities all over, but that was one of the ones that was heavily funded. And then once they pulled that, they just kind of tore everything down and ripped down his massive tower. That was going to be the pinnacle where the first death ray actually was set up, and then obviously there'd be subsequent ones down the coast so it could cover the wide range of it, so at 270 degrees from each one for this air defense. And on this new, I call it Hunting Tesla because all these shows are the same pretty much. Like, they go to Wardenclyffe, and it has been locked up, but they're looking for chambers under the ground. Every one of these shows is like, yeah. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, the name, I couldn't remember the name. He said Wardenclyffe, and I was like, Wardenclyffe tunnels. I'm like, why do I know that?
Yeah.
It's because, and that's why.
And all these shows are like Now, ex-CIA and ex-military guy Tom Walker is going over there with new technology only used in Iraq and Afghanistan, and like then it does
on Oak Island.
Yeah, and on Oak Island, and radio waves pierce the way, and then they're looking through the Knights Templar thing. Every one of these things are exactly the same. These shows are so cookie cutter. So when we get our show, it ain't gonna be nothing like that. Fuck that. I'm never using radar piercing technology just based on that alone.
We'll just dig. We'll just start digging.
That's right. I got my old man. I was like, and now Hameen's father will come in with a backhoe and just dig the shit out of something. So you know,
Did he get the backhoe from The Godfather?
Yeah, he could. We could probably get that.
I couldn't help myself. Well, listen. The whole Wardenclyffe thing. He tried to work J.P. Morgan. He got him for $150K.
Yeah.
And then he pulled funding after he realized he wasn't going to do what he said to J.P. Morgan he was going to do. Initially, he pitched him and told him that he was going to do wireless transmission from around the world, from those 200 acres of Wardenclyffe, and it ended up he was building a big tower.
Yeah.
You said it was Death Ray. Some people were saying that it was supposed to be. It was a 52-foot tower, and they're saying that this was supposed to be the world's largest coil. And what he was looking to do was actually give the world free energy. And then when someone stooged them off and kayfabe got broken, that's when he pulled the funds, and that's when they went over there and they fucking destroyed everything.
And people at that time were at night, their whole sky would light up, and that's where he got the nickname Master of Lightning, which is a pretty cool metal name.
That's kind of a bad. Yeah, that's pretty.
It
metal.
is.
I mean, he probably no-sold it. So
okay, so this is the quick wiki explanation for this. Low frequency waves called ground waves allow signals to propagate for perhaps hundreds of miles from a typical radio transmission tower. So he didn't even need a special tower.
No.
Tesla discussed low frequency resonance of the Earth, but the Wardenclyffe Tower in Colorado Springs Tesla coil operated at much higher frequencies. So now, okay, this actually shits on flat Earth because you needed the Earth to be round in order for this to work, according to his little designs.
Don't tell Stevie, he's gonna cry.
Are you okay?
I'm totally fine. I'm not a flat earther. I don't know why you think that.
What are you yelling for? I didn't say you were a flat earther. I was just talking about Tesla. That's all, man. I was asking if you were right.
I'm sorry, that's a hot microphone.
You turned on snare drum. Another part of this is who might have stooged him off was actually his nephew. Goes by the name of Sava Kosanovic. And he was.
Didn't he just win the gold in figure skating?
He might have. He might have. He was actually a dignitary as well, and a spy. And people think that a lot of the missing Tesla files actually got sold to Russia by him. So what the Germans didn't get, he had actually in the Colorado Springs facility taken those ones that were supposed to be shipped back to Croatia. And there's ones missing that he had stooged it off and made some money by selling that technology forward. And they have their own HARP in Russia as well. So I think out of everything, whether it was the Death Ray, I really feel that HARP became that at the end of the day. And we did a show on HARP early on in chemtrails and weather modification. But what is, the real possibilities? Can it ionize an atmosphere and take out planes? Can it... And Tesla said you can even strike this at a marching army and legit melt everyone. On this show about Tesla and the Death Ray, they just, where I'm at, I have one more episode to get through. I think they're on episode 5 right now, and there's probably 10 or 13.
What channel is this on?
I think it's Discovery. It's got to be Discovery. Yeah. It's a fucking cookie cutter of every other show they do now. And this is kind of cool because they have the guys going and doing the on the ground search, but then they had this group of electronics nerds making the Death Ray. They're trying to recreate it from his notes that have been declassified, and they just made a mini one and hooked it up to a watermelon, and it kicked the shit out of it in a second. So,
so did Gallagher.
That's true. Point. Yeah, I would name the Death Ray Gallagher at this point, really. But
actually, they said that he had a miniature version in his home where he was living, and when he tested it the first time, and this is why he didn't want to move forward with the Death Ray, was because it created an earthquake,
Yeah,
and they
that's
made the
another
building
part,
shake,
right.
and it freaked him out.
Yeah, highly probable and possible. I think that this guy was looking at forces differently than we do. Just the fact that he thinks gravity is created is the byproduct of two other forces, and that's what he was trying to mess with, in his mindset. And again, we don't profess to have any of the scientific knowledge that this guy did. It's just the declassified stuff we're looking through.
Two things. Number one, when they asked Einstein one time, at the Time magazine or whatever, asked Einstein one time, hey, we want to speak to the smartest man in the world. We want to hear what he has to say. And he says, well, go talk to Tesla. So that's obviously pretty cool. But gravity, the fact that you're saying that he didn't believe gravity was what we're told it is, that physicist, that Asian physicist with the gray hair, what's his name?
Dr. Michio Kaku.
Yeah.
Well,
the way you just said,
he's a theorist.
Whatever, theorist. It's all science is theory. Anyhow, regardless of the fact, he said that gravity isn't a force pulling; it's a magnetic force pushing, and that's what people are starting to convey now. And that Galileo was wrong with the whole apple from the tree thing getting sucked down by gravitational force.
That was Newton.
Newton. What did I say? Galileo? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Newton. My bad. My mistake.
Same guy. Same thing.
Some old guy. But this guy was ahead of his time, dude. I agree with you 100%. And it is what it is. The whole thing about him, he invented something called cold light, right? And the whole cold light was that he had like a light bulb, right?
With half the calories.
Pop, that's awesome. Basically, it had gases in it, and all you needed was an ambient electric field in the vicinity, which was caused by his
coil.
Tesla. By the coil. So it was almost like wireless free energy.
Well, wireless electricity is here now, and that is what pretty much the invention that may also have gotten. I mean, there's all these theories of what may have gotten him killed, right? But obviously the free energy, and then to have it wireless where you're not, and we've all seen that, whether it's in the movie or not, where he stands there and you see, all these lightning bolts going into him as he stands in these huge Tesla coils, and there's sparks, and it's always looks super impressive. And is that
David Bowie who played him in the movie Prestige?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
No, it was Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody, yeah.
No, Adrian Brody's the dude with the long nose, dude. Who looks like
Dave Pasquale.
Looks like, and also looks like Nikola Tesla.
No, it wasn't Adrian Brody.
Look it up.
Someone look it up. Someone on Twitch, look it up.
I think the interesting question is, how did he get this knowledge? This knowledge so far ahead of his time. Did he have access to did he have this communication with another civilization, and maybe had the contact with Mars or whatever? Just throwing stuff out there, or maybe where he was, there was that Stargate and he had access to something, or maybe just he had the capability to do some of this stuff in order to gain the knowledge for the rest of it.
I just think, sorry, Sal, this is a different time where there is no fucking cell phone distraction, where there is no Pokemon bullshit, where there was no Nintendo. You fucking studied math. You were OCD. You're a weird kid. You pick up on it, and you're a young genius. And these ideas just keep going forward. And as you unlock a little bit more comes out. And then you look at somebody else's work, and you can decipher that like it's how about them apples? You know what I mean? What's the movie?
Good Will Hunting, like where he can just see it and it makes sense to him, and at that time everything was so industrial and new, it was there. So if he's studying frequencies, he can get it quickly and then enhance it, and then that leads to the next thing, and then we're going from gas lighting to the electric light in every home, and that just and he gets to see Edison's work, and then it takes it to the next level, especially if you're testing at that fucking genius level, man.
There's two things that he's known for saying. Number one, he says, if you understand the frequency of 3, 6, and 9, you will be able to know everything in the universe. That's the first thing. And the second thing that he's quoted for saying is that if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, you have to think in energy, frequency, and vibration. So that's some like next level shit right there.
Yeah.
No one talks like that anymore. I mean, everyone's all, saying stupid shit nowadays. But regardless of the fact, there are a lot of theories how he got this knowledge. Like Stevie said, maybe someone was using him as a vessel and they were just leaking, technology to him from another planet. You know what I mean? That's one theory. I mean, look at what's his name? What's the dude's the painter who disappeared for 3 years, knowing when we went, and you just said he used the sketches. What's his name?
Bob
Da Vinci.
Ross.
Da Vinci. He was ahead of his time too. And where the hell did he get all that information from? You know what I mean? So I mean, a lot of people are saying that they had contact, or that the messages, they were like a transistor radio getting messages, and it would just pop into their minds, and they were getting fed these things from different sources in the universe. Could very well be.
Yeah,
So now,
good point. Go ahead.
From day one when we started talking, Ben, I told you my theory about the fucking weird ones, the art people.
Yeah.
Aren't you an artist as well, dude? What do you mean the weird ones?
Like, I mean, the people who are like, oh, he's a mad genius about this shit. The artists, the mathematicians, which is art, it's just a different form.
Yeah.
All those guys, I've always said that they were the ones who are in touch with maybe they are the conduits.
There we go, conduit. That's a good word.
That shit from other dimensions can reach into. Lovecraft was a writer, and he saw shit that we are now touching on with special effects because that's the only way we can transfer it into movies, because nobody understands fucking written word anymore. But he was pulling out things that nobody thought of back then. Nobody thought of these crazy things without shape or size or mass, but they were just so frightening that they would just end your existence. Tesla was doing things that nobody on the planet was even dreaming about, and he was mathematically breaking it down and showing how it was created, and then trying to create the whole thing. All these different artists, these scientists, all of them, I feel, are pinpoints that these from different universes, dimensions, however you want to look at it, different worlds, they come in, and these are the spots that they can channel through. They're like we said, they're the conduits for this information to get out. So 1 out of 100,000 people, let's call it like a neighborhood, one out of 100,000 people are channeling this.
Yeah.
What's going to get out?
Yeah, who's the savant, and they're operating obviously at a higher frequency than the rest of us, and that's
Right.
targeting them.
And again, how the kid in let's call it like the kid who lives in Staten Island, okay, who gets
Vito?
No, somebody smart.
Wow.
The kid who come out and they're getting these messages, all right, and they're getting these thoughts, and they're getting these dreams and these mathematical equations that they're solving, and they shouldn't because they're 9, and they're figuring this shit out. Really, aside from a blurb of, hey, this kid's really smart, look what he did, what's going to get out?
Yeah.
Now, nobody's going to give him money to fund him for his ideas, because now in this day and age, everybody's jaded. Everything's a scam. Everything's a work. So no one's going to do, so this kid's going to go to college and be actually dumbed down by being sent through school.
Yeah. Yeah, because obviously that's a conditioning system, that
You're
we've all
taking the edge off of that blade.
Right.
So you're not going to have the Nikola Teslas anymore. Jokes aside, Elon Musk has the idea. He has the theory. He has the want to do these things. But I don't know. He has the money.
I feel like he's a front man. Not that he's stupid by any means, but he's definitely nowadays. And hey,
he's not the Nikola Tesla.
You just took Stevie's spot. Great transition as we start to take it home here. Good segue. Because obviously the Tesla car made big waves because we were looking for a decent electric car for years now to hit the market majorly, and this guy's a billionaire, so no one could really touch him and undercut him. And obviously do it in California, where it's the most energy conscious, snowflake conscious of everything, to take off, and it did. Absolutely. For the Hollywood elites and whatnot, and Tesla's a fairly, supported car that I don't think it's going to go under or go backwards. Will their technology get out? And even now, I sent you guys that article on the roofing tiles that are cheaper than regular roofing tiles, and they're all solar.
Solar panel ones.
So you don't have to put big solar panels, because out here in farmland all around us, they've a lot of farmers have sold off and just made these huge solar fields and whatnot. So this would be everyone's house can be tied in, and then these Tesla lithium batteries that will power your house up to 75% of the power pretty much right now. But they're $6 to $10,000. If you got 2 of them, it should power everything in your house. You shouldn't have to worry about it. Will that become the norm? Will Home Depot, that was doing these rooftop installs with regular solar panels, just switch to that? And when will that just become the standard? I think forget cars, that kind of shit, or when they can even put it in the paint on cars and make that the solar, and you're running your electric car off of that shit. That should be full speed ahead, not like how Obama wanted to do with Solyndra and they're out fucking smashing tubes out back and it was all subsidized from your tax dollars. The way he slow rolls things out is great. And obviously we've seen SpaceX and that their rockets can land vertically again and be reused. Incredibly impressive, even though now he's a CIA defense contractor guy and all this types of shit. And who knows what satellites they're throwing up there. There's been tons of SpaceX launches, but they just got caught with their dick in their hands, and we passed this around. Yeah. So we've all seen the Tesla that got launched into space and is headed towards Mars, and it's one of his cars, and it's got a robotic fucking astronaut in there and all these GoPros. Well, they all would have, through the Van Alden belt, they all would have got fucked over. How did the tires not melt off, the son of a bitch?
They punched it. It went faster.
Oh, they punched it. That's right. Right.
Yeah.
How did the airbags not come out or what have you, unless they're already taken out? And this is on 24/7 on YouTube where you can check in and watch. But
whoa. Hang on. Didn't the batteries die after 4 hours? So how are they looking on beyond that?
Maybe they're chargeable. Maybe they've got recharging
solar power panels.
That's it. Yeah, possibly. But the reality is we passed around the video. It got sent to me on Instagram. It's on YouTube where it's making its orbit and it looks all cool. And then all of a sudden, the background clicks off and it's on a sound stage, and it's exactly what the same work of did we go to the moon, all the same bullshit. It was all staged, and all the Nancy Browns and all the marks out there who want something to talk about water cooler wise or show it work, they probably won't find that video, but there is the video there where it clicks off for 2.5 seconds and you see that whole thing is a complete fucking work and a hoax.
Yeah. I think even the people that were doing the commentary, the 2-person commentary team, it looked like a green screen behind them. It didn't look like they were actually in the launch, the what's it called? Mission control.
Yeah.
It didn't look, I do a lot of video editing. I look at that stuff, but that car, dude, I mean, it wasn't a glitch like the ISS where they went real wavy for like a few seconds. That was really weird. This literally turned off the Earth and space behind the car, and you even had the little mocap type things in the background. It was so bad.
Yeah, I wish I could. I wish we were on Skype so I could have seen all of your guys' reaction at that time, man. Like that was insane. And shout out to the dude who sent that out on my Instagram. I have to check it out. I can't remember who it was, but I knew it'd be on there.
I'm going to take the unpopular opinion on this.
Oh shit!
And I'm going to hold out. I say,
you're pulling a Stevie.
I think it's a rib.
You think the rib is a rib?
Yep.
You think that? You really think there's a test?
It looks so fake that it's real.
At 8:13 today, on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2018, I am saying the rib is a rib.
Okay. Well, there's other videos.
He's trolling the people that want to look for the hoax.
So you can look at other hoax videos where it doesn't show the sound stage, and there's plenty of flat earthers because they're way hard on this, and it shows they dissect the globe, the planet as it goes around, as the car spins, and where certain geographical things should be, they are not. So even their mocap 3D Earth in the back is not what we should be seeing as our globe Earth of what we've been told before.
So now,
but that
Mr. Musk,
do
you think Mr. Musk at this point is going to spend all this money to put in a subpar bullshit like that.
Did you hear what he said?
No.
He said in the interview, he goes, I know, it looks so fake that you can't believe it's not real. Like, he even puts over that it's fucking bullshit.
That's why I just said what I said.
I'm calling it a rib. The rib's a rib.
Well, listen, let's look at facts here, right? If they are in space, right, and the car's in space, sitting on top of a rocket, not in a rocket, but on top of the rocket, this fucking car, because he said it's just his standard car. They didn't do anything to it. This is according from what he said. The fucking car should have melted.
No, you said that. How should I know?
Said
You
that.
said that.
What are you talking about, Spider? Dance the fucking drink over here. What are you talking about? What I'm saying is, right? Am I wrong, or is this car on top of the rocket?
Yeah,
Right?
that's
It's
what he
not
said,
in the
right?
rocket. It's on the rocket.
Well, they
right?
should be making. Should be making the next space shuttle or whatever is going to Mars out of the car. Yeah,
Exactly.
whatever
That's what
material
I'm
this
trying
is.
to say. This car, the tires, the leather interior. He said it was his car. They didn't do any adjustments to it. Maybe there's a couple of dead hookers in the trunk.
So what
Who
you're
knows?
saying is, I could drive a car. I could have drove a car into Tower 7 and it wouldn't have melted.
Exactly.
How about the fact this
Well,
rocket
there
is
was no
taking
Teslas
off
back then.
in
I'm
the
sorry,
heat?
Sal.
There's more heat than what Stevie's got with the office on the outside of this fucking rocket when it takes off. The paint job is pristine still. Nothing's been
Yeah,
burned.
Looks better than a Mako commercial.
Yeah.
I will say this: the only part of the conspiracy, if this is all real, is, dude, I have to believe that there's an actual dead body in the suit. That he, an actor. I mean, that's like, dude, he's sitting around. If it is real, going every time he shows up, you're like, that's right, motherfucker. See what happens. And then there's like 5 people over there and go, Bob's up there right now.
You want
You
to
think
want
he
to
does
be
that?
the next Bob?
They let
Like
me.
he has the GoPro on every room in his house on the channel. He just looks up going, nobody fucks with Elon Musk.
It's a new.
Well, his
really,
other
what's
project.
What's powering the GoPros? What's powering the light? The
I think they
lights,
had, like,
the
4 or
studio
5
lights
hours.
that are pointing at the spaceman, the Starman.
That's what I'm saying. They only had like 4 or 5 hour battery life on it. And then they like to go through space and, even if they punched it through the Van Allen belt, like I feel like they would still maybe
But
have
I
some
did say to
effect on it.
Stevie, what if he has in the trunk, he's got his Tesla batteries that those could run, like, the rib of the rib. Not that I believe it, but like
That's
there is
that's
ways.
a good point. You had to go back and forth. Well, let's talk about this then. There's approximately how many satellites in space now?
What?
There's got to be
Millions.
1,000 or more.
Yeah, I mean, how could you really tell with all
How
the
come we didn't see any space?
Not counting
Secret
the
launches.
space junk. There was They said there was a little junk, but you should be able to. If you're a low or Earth orbit, you should be able to see the satellite and also see the ISS. It should have been seen by it orbits every 24 hours.
Well, that was what made me think. I said, wouldn't the military have heat with him coming near their satellites?
Well, he's a defense contractor now, so he's got all that info.
But now he's broadcasting it.
Well,
If he
here's
dro-
But
you
it's
know?
bullshit.
here's
It's a
the- here's
bullshit
the rib
broadcast,
of
so
the-
it doesn't make a difference.
here's the rib of the rib then. Maybe just like what people who want to believe in the secret space program back in the Apollo missions believed that what we saw was the rib of the rib. And what really when the launch happened, all that was really, and then they switched to the deal
Okay.
and everything. And there was some stuff going on up there that they didn't want anybody to see.
I would buy that.
Could be.
Yeah,
I'd buy that.
Very plausible.
yeah. You don't want to land
Very
on the moon. We're the first ones here, and there's a fucking
But
city
he still
over
had that
there.
fight. He put a dead body in the fucking suit, though. Even if it's in that little echo chamber, he was just like, say it again, Sal. He's walking around his house.
Nobody fucks with Elon Musk.
That's a new T-shirt right there.
Tesla to the space.
That's it. There you go.
All right, let's talk about the biggest Tesla conspiracy, and that's the FBI and the government lying about them not having the Tesla files and them swearing to God
Got it
that
right here.
they never took any of the papers, and it took them 9 years to give it back to the family of Tesla in Croatia or wherever the hell he's from, whatever the case may be. All these years, no. J.F. Hoover swore he didn't see anything. We don't have the papers. We don't have this. And now it's true. The government lied to us. Oh my God.
Yeah, and if you say that, I got the letter in from you. Dear Nicola, I wish to acknowledge your receipt of your letter dated September 24th, 1940, together with its enclosure. Your courtesy and interest in bringing this information to my attention are indeed appreciated. You may be assured your letter will receive appropriate consideration. Sincerely yours, J. Edgar Hoover, Director. That's page 4 of 249 at vault.fbi.gov/Nikola-Tesla.
Now, what is he wearing, a dress or a suit?
He was probably
wrote that
wearing a
letter?
garter belt and, you know.
He had a onesie on.
Yeah. So, the freak of nature himself. So, yeah, and the other thing with Elon Musk, in his other tweet, how about the fact that he's making flamethrowers for commercial for like the zombie apocalypse, and then he's also convinced the city of LA to give him tons of millions of dollars for this underground project to get where your car goes or a bus goes on a sled and then goes down underground and is on this magnet track, I guess, to go super fast places along those lines. So I don't know how this guy's got all this stroke, and it's strange because he doesn't seem like the genius that Nikola Tesla is, but Elon Musk has got some power or something on somebody, and I heard that the people...
Because he's John Teeter.
Well, he might be. The people working for him, I guess, are just stressed to the fucking max, too. Like, it's really tough for them to keep kayfabe on all their non-disclosures because of... You know, with science, there's going to be tons of failures, and especially if you promise something, you want to get it right. So I think things like the flamethrower are like the misdirection. Look over here, this crazy shit, while we're doing all this other stuff, man. And same with the Tesla in space, so people can tune in on YouTube and think a certain way about SpaceX and the Tesla company.
How many
SpaceX all the time.
Nice.
How many launches have they had? It seems like it's going off pretty often.
Documented launches?
Yeah.
Well, even those are pretty often.
That video you sent seemed the most fucking real, where Stevie sent a video around where it was 5 SpaceX rockets and shuttles going off at the same time in like a Blue Angels formation. They all kick in the timing, and then the boosters peel off and they all go back and land. But then it's 5 shuttles in lower Earth orbit, but you're still seeing the Earth. And the Bombay doors open up in the back, and it's all space tourists getting to look back at the planet. And that didn't seem like CGI to me. That looked almost like the most real footage, far more realistic looking than the fucking car and space footage looks like.
That was straight up like if they did like the budget of like Gravity or something, that movie. It was pretty darn real.
Well, the only thing I know that failed of Elon Musk that he tried was in I think it was New Mexico, in Perfection. He was creating these supposed to be for agriculture. Supposed to be these large worms, and it was I think it was what was his name? I can't remember. Burt Gummer. Him. Anyway, there was the whole big thing, and they just wiped it out. I think they brought the flamethrower idea out to just cover that up.
You know what would have been better?
I got
nothing from other.
I couldn't remember.
The video that Stevie sent, the only way that video could have been better is those cargo bay doors open, and out comes New Day. It would have been perfect.
Oh, Christ. That would have made it for sure. Obviously, you didn't watch the product this week again. But
they had them on pancake duty instead of talking about Black History Month.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins had that covered.
Yep, that was good.
Well, Seth Rollins summed it all up very well. We didn't need anybody else.
Well, that's all you need. But y'all, guys, we are out of time here. It's been another hot, heated show, but, I'm glad we weren't going at each other too hard. We definitely need to look more into these Nikola Tesla files. There's over 1,000 pages of declassified information from FBI to newspaper clippings and just some crazy stuff that has been swept under the rug for far too long. This guy deserves his shine. If Einstein's Hogan, this guy's Flair. As far as that goes.
Guaranteed. Good analogy, dude.
So he definitely needs to be in every history book, taught more than Einstein. All you know about Einstein is E = MC squared, and his fucking hair's crazy.
And he couldn't tie his shoes.
He's over.
Apparently he's a puss hound.
Yeah, he liked it. He liked it. Yeah. So, but I would definitely want to look more into Tesla. I wish there were more videos out there for us. A lot of them seem kind of repetitive once you learn about the AC current and the coil. And then I thought the Hitler episode on Tesla, the death ray, you should check that show out. It was pretty cool, especially seeing how one guy was wanted by Russia, Germany, U.S. all in one just because of how powerful his mindset is. And I think that is the real takeaway from this about what we've lost from mathematics and science, and can we ever get back there aside from just being fucking useful idiots who are addicted to technology and eye candy and playing games at this time. So
do you think the pyramids was a form of wireless electricity?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Cool. Well, the whole jugs. So the jugs in there that they lit up.
The Iraq light bulb too. All that kind of stuff. So there's so much that, and especially as we talked about, and you can listen to Crow 777, hackerhameen.podbean.com this week, where he talks about Freemason symbolism and actually goes into that of how the Masons took everything from the pyramid because of how much technology was there that was far ahead and that they're still trying to figure out. And there's plenty of stuff.
That's because they burned the library in Alexandria, and that's where everything was.
Yep.
So,
and plenty of sun god worship stuff in there as well. So, but y'all, guys, it's Conspiracy Horsemen. We're wrapping it up, so let's take it home. Stevie, what's going on with you, man?
Well, this Saturday I'm going to be at the Landmark Arena at Cornelia, Georgia, wrestling for Wildcat Sports, and also I'm in a 6-man tag. They're pulling the old man card on me, so I have to be in the 6-man tag and be protected.
Shitty
Me,
six.
Luke Hawks, and his son Perry against the Pump Patrol, who one of the guys in the Pump Patrol I thought was a female referee when I met him.
I know who you're talking about, the guy who looks like the
Johnny
Bad News
Flex.
Bear kid. Yeah.
I was like, oh, you got a girl. I said, you got a girl referee, Luke. That's awesome. And he was like, my name's Johnny. And I'm like, oh, she's got a deep voice.
That's a weird name for a girl.
Yeah. I didn't get it. It took me about 5 months to really realize it.
If you guys don't know who he is, he looks like Tanner from freaking Bad News Bears.
He does.
He does. I shit you not.
You can stooge off the next weekend too, Stevie.
What's that? Stooge it off?
Yeah.
Well, since somebody big leagues, a certain show on the 24th and decided to take another booking, I have offered to step in as I have stepped in. There's an owl here. That must be Moloch in the room.
Fucking Satanist.
I am going to be in upstate New York on February 24th. I will be appearing. I will be on the same show. 3 out of the 4 Conspiracy Horsemen will be there, and we may be recording some content for everybody out there.
Yeah, there may be a signing. Well, I know there's one with FBI before that show, but there may be an additional meet and greet at Dippin' Donuts too. So keep an ear to social media, all of our Twitters and whatnot. We'll be putting that over. I'm meeting with Dimitri tomorrow to try and get that kind of stuff. So Dippin' Donuts.
I'll be eating a salad.
Yeah, big
eating a salad.
Donut salad. There's be a big big meeting of the minds tomorrow as Dippin' Donuts is sponsoring this Dynasty show. So big shout out to Dimitri Zordos and all his support there. But DynastyProWrestling.com, I believe, is what it is. But We Are Dynasty on Twitter. More news.
What am I wrestling? What do I got going on?
I don't know. I just know that they want ECW guys, and you're an ECW guy.
Papa Don, don't worry. We'll save you a Dippin' Donuts since you're going to not have the belt to go back to next time you show up at Dynasty.
If I have any more Dippin' Donuts, I'm not
don't think so. If Stevie's taking my spot, then I can.
Stevie's not taking your spot. You could only hope
he's not
Stevie would have took your spot. No.
I'm wrestling. I'm wrestling the
Booker
Ghostface Warrior.
Ghostface.
Right here I'm wrestling. I'm gonna knock the last 3 teeth out of his mouth.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. I saw that guy at fucking UPW last week, dude. He no-sells me so hard since I blocked him. He fucking his life like ended because of that, man. But stole the show at Dynasty in a shitty 6-man match myself. It's what I'm best at. GGP,
also,
not DDP. What do you got?
Please don't. 12-week resistance band training program. Just want to put that over real quick. We had a sale while we were recording tonight, so cool. Pretty awesome. Averaging pretty good sales every day. Group is growing. Remember to get direct email support with me. You also get the closed Facebook group and coaching from me. So really good stuff.
Commercial
Send me
sounded
another
great on
$10. I will send you his personal home number.
That's right.
Fine.
He said,
Huh? Don't worry. You're fine.
send him
You're fine.
$10 and send him your number. But yeah,
888-68 Titan. Call it. Ask for the fourth floor. Ask for Beth.
Tremendous.
got him. GGP,
Tremendous.
what's up, man?
All right, well, let's see. First off, let me give a shout out to my boy Bart. I'm rocking his AWS shirt that he gave me. Thank you, Bart. Also, big shout out to Mike Hawes and his MH Freedom, his Freedom Fighter page that he has on Facebook. Check him out. Let's see. What do I have? This week, Saturday, I'll be at Ronin 18. Next weekend, on the 24th, I'll be at JAP in Jersey. On the 2nd of March, on Friday, I'll be at Five Borough Wrestling. The 9th of March, I'll be at BCW, Bree Championship Wrestling in Queens. On the 10th, I'll be in Virginia for Vanguard Championship Wrestling. And contract signed on the 24th of March. I'm coming back to Dynasty Pro Wrestling to defend our tag team titles with my partner in arms, Bin Hamin. And there's much more other bookings as well. NYWC, I believe, is on the 30th, or the 31st. I got to double check that. And that's it, man. And you can find me on Facebook, Demetrius Papadon, Twitter, Greek God Papadon, my YouTube page, Greek God Papadon, Pro Wrestling Tees store, Greek God Papadon.
Y'all off. He's booked. He's all over the place. So get your shirt before he comes to your town. And this infidel right here, Mr. Faiza himself, James Comey's boy. Y'all, what's going on with the FBI, Big Sal?
I think we all covered that. We're doing the 24th. We're going to come get the belts from Ben and whatever kind of scrub they want to throw with them.
You'll see what's going to happen.
And then Papa Don will have to come back to a stale Dippin' Donut when he shows up on March 24th. And then we're doing April 21st. We're going to be at Wrestling Universe in Queens, right? And if everything goes well, it should be an event, a big event. That's all I'm going to say.
Talks all that shit about winning the titles, but won't even come up to the next Dynasty show if he won them themselves. So didn't even put over the 24th. So stooged yourself off. You already know you're going to lose, big man.
Maybe.
He's over, he's under.
No, April. I said it's April 21st.
Yes.
Not March. I didn't say anything about March.
Yes.
That's what's
We
funny.
don't know what's going on with March.
I know what's going on, and it means me holding on to my Dynasty Tag Team Championships with my... Well, do you have both belts right now? Yeah. No, I have to carry the son of a bitch and 30 pounds in my bag, moron, because you aren't going to show up. So I have a plan of attack, and you don't know if it's the insurgency. You don't know if it's Assad King or who I'm going to bring in as my weapon of mass destruction on March 24th, on February 24th. That's right. I will have the belts both times because I am Ayatollah Telayi, the man supreme, the Dynasty Tag Team Champion with GGP, morons, and I will protect the gold that is ours. And you can check us out on Russo Brand on the review show. You can see Stevie and I on the locker room this week, Friday. All of the great content at hackerhameen.podbean.com, and get yourself a $5 face slap shirt, and I'll give you one free from ProWrestlingTees.com/Bin Hameen. So hear me now, infidels. This has been an electric episode, straight from the earth to the sky, where the Tesla flies high, here with the Conspiracy Horsemen. YOLO!